Ventures. Happy Friday. Hope everybody's having a great day. Looking forward to a big weekend. Hey, Bunny's Vintage Co. Thanks for coming in. Hey, Kenneth, how you doing? As mentioned, I'm Stuart with Franklin Hill Ventures. I'm here in Knoxville, Tennessee. So very excited for the basketball game tonight. Don't know if we have any other basketball fans in here. Don't know if we have any Kentucky fans. I'm a big Tennessee fan, so we'll see how it goes tonight. Third game of the series. Kentucky won the first two. Hopefully the Vols will take it tonight. But anyway, that's at 7 something, so we have a while before then. So I'm going to try to make it through this show, but I'm pretty nervous about the game, so we'll see how it goes. Hey, Tree City Sports Cards. Hey, Donna. So today we have a mix of, hey, Wes, my podcast compadre, Wes from the Slim Flippers. We do a podcast together along with Johnny from Frizzy Finds. It's called the Finders Flippers Resale Podcast. And, I'm sorry, my rancher. No, it should be a fun game. I am nervous about it, though. I went to the Tennessee-Kentucky game that was over here at Thompson Bowling, and it was, pretty miserable if you were a UT fan. So we'll know. Maybe we'll flip the script. We'll see. Hey, Stock Diva. But yeah, anyway, Wes, Johnny, and I do a podcast on YouTube called the Finders Flippers Resale Podcast. So search for that on YouTube and give us a follow. And so today for the show, we're going to do a mix of curated lots. I have 50 lots in the catalog, but then we also have the last box. It seems like I've been saying this every show. I think I'm going to run out. But this is the last box of the postcards from the farmhouse that we've been going through forever, it seems like. So we'll go through those. Probably start with those. And yeah, it is tough to win 3. And I mean, trying to be objective, I think Tennessee's actually probably a better team. I mean, Kentucky shot 50% from 3 both those games. But that could easily happen again. And Tennessee tends to go through these long shooting slumps. So who knows what will happen. But anyway, I'll wake up tomorrow morning either way. So that's good. Hey, Pam and Synod Bat. Anybody else I've missed? Hey, Salad Fingers. Hey, my mom's in here. The Rila, thanks for coming in. All right, so tell you what, let's go ahead and get started with the postcards. That'll give you time to look through the catalog, get in any pre-bids that you want to put, or you can just put the lot number in the chat and I can run it off that as well. I think I have one pre-bid right now. So, hey, Flora Fidelity, thanks for coming in. So let me turn the camera around. And the way we're going to do the postcards, the way I've done it the last couple of shows has worked pretty well. Oops, sorry about that. Everybody got to, it's kind of like riding Tower of Terror at Disney, I guess. Did you experience free fall there? All right. So I am going to just pick stacks of postcards out of the box that I just showed. And we'll put 2 stacks down. And whoever wins can pick whichever stack they want. They'll probably end up being, 20 to 30 postcards in each stack is generally what we get to, depending on how long people bid. But just a little history on these postcards if you haven't been from me before. They came out of a farmhouse in Upper East Tennessee, in Greenville to be exact. And I've been selling on them a while, and I think this is the last box. And we've pulled some really good stuff. Most of them seem to be early 1900s, although we have seen some, on up into the 50s and 60s. So I'm just going to pick a stack out of here, and we'll start by putting about 10 in each stack, and then we'll start the clock and go from there. Let me go in and pin this postcard lot. All right, so here's Union Depot in Milwaukee. 1909 is the date on that one. Let's see, let's put them that way. Here's another Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to put it in the same stack since they kind of go together. That one's from 1910. Then here's Monticello, home of Thomas Jefferson. That's a Tux from 1908. And one thing we found from going through these, there's no rhyme or reason to how this person collected them and put them into boxes or albums for that matter. When I had albums, I've sold all the albums, but I mean, we've gone from, England to Texas to baseball postcards to Halloween postcards, a little bit of everything. So here's the Oriental Hotel in Dallas, Texas. That one is also a tux, it looks like. So somebody did take the stamp off of that one. So there's 2 in each stack. Here's New City Hall in Richmond, Virginia, 1906. Here's a gargoyle. Looks like that's at Notre Dame. Oh, look, there's quite a few. Well, looks like I'm going to put all the gargoyles in the same stack since they go together. There's an elephant. Looks like all those are unposted. Hey, Delk, K32, One Rare Books, bid for it. Mom Bug, anybody else I missed? Stuart with Franklin Hill Ventures, doing postcards first. We'll do these for about 30 minutes, then we'll switch over to the curated lights and the catalogs, so check those out. Put any request in the chat, or you can put pre-bids in, and I'll get to all those first. Here's another one. So looks like there's a lot of these. So we're going to go ahead and just get all these and stack one. I'm not sure how old these are. They look like they have some age on them, though. But they are, I think they're all Notre Dame. It's rare for me to have found stuff together like this. Usually these would be scattered all throughout the box, but... And that's the last one. So that'll take care of stack 2 for our start. And we'll put a few more over here in stack 1. Here's City Hall in Dallas, Texas, 1909. There's the Capitol in Salt Lake City, Utah. That one's probably around that same time frame. See, and then here's a chrome just thrown in for good measure. That's Monticello. Then here's Avenue House Street in Johnsbury, Vermont. We'll do a couple more. Here's T&P Passenger Station in Fort Worth, Texas. That one's from Brother Witt. And that one's 1906, it looks like. Undivided back on that one. We'll put one more and then we'll get started. And here's Memphis, Tennessee, Cossett Library and Custom House in Memphis. All right. So just as a reminder, let me get these. You can kind of see them anyway. Tell you what, let me turn them that way. So I'm going to do 45 seconds. I'll continue to throw postcards down to the auction ends. Then you can either pick stack 1 or 2. So let me start this. $3 start, 45 seconds. Let me get a drink of water. My allergies have been killing me. So, of course, what I do, I open all the windows in the house. It just feels so good outside, I had to. All right, let me get the first one ready to go. And this is going to be running. $3 start, 45 seconds. You're choosing stack 1 or 2. And here we go. That's Riverside Hotel in Pennsylvania. I'm not sure the year, but it is older. Here's a 1939 New York World's Fair amusement area postcard. I'm assuming that's from 1939. There's Camp Campbell, Kentucky, Tennessee, Chapel number 1. Here's a chrome of somewhere, Sunland, California, 1959, it says. Here's a hotel, the El Patio Travelers Lodge, another chrome. Here's Hillcrest Motor Court Cabins, 1948. Here's Greetings from Fort Leonard Wood, 1951. Cyanide Bat's in. Looks like Cyanide Bat's going to take it. Good pickup. 1959. We'll put that one there. So stack 1 or 2, Cyanide. You're going to be writing your name down. Stack 2. You got it. And all this stuff will ship out no later than Monday. Since there's so much basketball on this weekend, I'll probably stick to that. But I always end up saying that, then I always ship it out on Saturday. So I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, the gargoyles were real cool. So we'll leave stack 1 out there, and I'll just continue to add to it. But let's go ahead and get 10 on the table for 2. Here's a foreign photo postcard. It looks like maybe Germany. Not really sure. But they stayed one night in 1963, it says. Here's another one. Then here's the TS Bremen, some kind of ship. Flagship of the North German Lloyd. So there's 3. These are kind of cool. These are like framed almost. I mean, they're kind of raised. Swansea, oh, it's a tux. And you can see it's kind of embossed on the back. So, but another tux there. And then here's another one that's just like it. So another tux. Oh, welcome in to everybody who's just stopping by. Here's another tux. There's another tux. And then here's the Nugent House, I think it says, in Germantown, Pennsylvania. This one's got glitter on it. I don't know if you can see it. Hopefully it won't get everywhere. We know what glitter does. A couple more, then we'll get it started. And this is the Wills house where Lincoln wrote his Gettysburg Address. And so about 1:45, we'll start doing some of the curated lots. So take a look at the catalog, and if you have any requests for anything, just put the lot number in the chat, and I'll try to watch for those and write them down. Or you can put a pre-bid in. So, and here's Baptist Church in Meadville, Pennsylvania. That one's from 1909, I think. So let me do one more, and then we'll get started. And here's the Memorial Tower and Statue, University of Pennsylvania. That one's a linen, I think, there. All right, so you're going to 45 seconds. I'll keep throwing them down. You'll choose stack 1 or 2. And here we go. Here's Music Hall in Cincinnati, Ohio, 1910. Here's the Centennial School in McKeesport, Pennsylvania. This one looks like, yep, undivided back. Look at the old stamp on that one. That one's cool. Then here's McKean Avenue School in Pennsylvania. It's another old one. And then here's Johnstown, Pennsylvania, Slovenska, some kind of church. 1931, I think it says on the front. This one's got some wear, so we'll just throw it down and put another one there. And this one's Butler County General Hospital in Butler, Pennsylvania. I'm not sure the date on that one. Then here's the Union Station in Columbus, Ohio. A Bunny's Vintage Code. Good pickup on that. And stack 1 or 2. Stack 1's bigger. Stack 2 have the tux in it. So, all right, let me write your name down. And maybe I'll actually get through these cards this show. Every show I go, this is the last time I'll be running these postcards, and then I'll have another box. You're welcome. All right, so let's get some down. Here's a real photo postcard of the Gladstone Motel in Black Mountain, North Carolina. Then here's Pennsylvania Railroad Station in Cincinnati, Ohio. Looks a lot like the L&N Railroad Station here in Knoxville. And then here's Garfield Memorial in Cleveland, Ohio, 1912. Then here's Institution for the Blind in Columbus, Ohio. Here's a chrome. As mentioned, these things just have no rhyme or reason to how they're in here. And then here's the Hollenden Hotel in Cleveland, Ohio. It's an undivided back. It does look like, I don't know if it was in a scrapbook or something, but you can see the discoloration there. Then here's the 20 Episcopal Cathedral in Cleveland, undivided back. And here's Lyndhurst, the residence of Mrs. Helen Gould Shepherd in Tarrytown, New York. Let me do one more, then we'll get started. Here's the Times Square building by night in New York City. This one does have, I don't know if it was in a scrapbook or something, so tell you what, we'll go and put one more in there since that one had some damage. There's the Rensselaer County Courthouse in Troy, New York, 1912. Let me pull a few more so I've got enough to run through here. All right, so we're going to run next. We'll do these for about 15 more minutes and then switch over to the other stuff. Then we'll switch back to these. I'm going to switch back and forth like every 30 minutes probably. All right, so this will be in stack 1, and let's run next. And this looks like the royal family. Looks like a real photo postcard of the royal family. There's another royal family one, so that's a tux of the royal family. We'll put it in stack 1 as well. Here's the Social Security postcard. Then here's Peace Tower in Ottawa, Canada, 1941. And then here's another Visiting Canada royal family. And maybe you get in these royal family in stack 1. We'll somebody will choose it. So we'll go ahead and put these in stack 1. There's another Princess Elizabeth. Here's another one. I'm just going to keep throwing these in stack 1. Another like real photo of their Majesties, the King and Queen there. That's a tux as well. And then look at this one, the baby. No, that's infant Prince Charles there. Look at that gown. So somebody took the stamp off that one. All right, and then, all right, A Bunny's Vintage Company. I can probably guess which one you want, but let me know for sure. That's what I figured. I will put that with your other cards. All right. Thanks for the bids on that one, everybody. And now we need to repopulate stack 1 here. Here's the Steel Pier in Atlantic City, a Douglas postcard. Here's the $1 Million Pier in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Then here is the Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota. 1950, it looks like on that one. Here's City Hall in Grand Rapids, Michigan. 1916. Here's a chrome of Santa Rita number 1. Oh, it's an oil well. And here's Don't Be Among the Missing. Dear Sister, your dues. So some kind of dues. Looks like Fraternal Order of the Elks, maybe. Then here's Versailles. A photo postcard. Here's another Versailles. Looks like this one might be hand tinted. Looks like we got a couple of these Versailles ones. So I'll go ahead and finish however many of these are right here, and then we'll start it. Versailles. Versailles. And Versailles. And looks like this is the last one. So Palace of Versailles. And there's the back of that one. All right, we'll go ahead and run next. And that is running. Here's Longwood, Natchez in Mississippi. And here's Grand Rapids, Michigan. It's got a little cut out of the corner there for some reason. Here's a chrome of a desert. Joshua Trees. Here's another chrome. The Shangri-La Resort. Then here's Klein Schlegdeg. I guess it's Germany or something. Here's another foreign postcard. These are all like mountain views of the Alps, maybe. Another view of the mountains there. A Vintage Company's in on this one. All right, and then this is the last one for stack 2. Another mountain view. So 1 or 2. Number 2. And welcome into everybody who's come in. I haven't been keeping up with the chat since I've been running these postcards, but we'll go about a little less than 15 more minutes on these postcards, and then we'll switch over to the items in the catalog for a while. So make sure you check those out, and if you have any requests for anything you want me to run once we finish up with the postcards, just put the lot number in the chat or put a pre-bid in. Looks like we got a couple of pre-bids already, so thank you so much for those. All right, here is the Portland waterfront in Portland, Connecticut. And for anybody just coming in, I'm Stuart with Franklin Hill Ventures here in Knoxville, Tennessee. I'm not sure if we have any other Tennesseans in the chat right now, but I know I do have some regular Tennesseans who come in. Where is everybody else from? Here's the burial place of Miles Standish in Duxbury, Massachusetts. Here's Paul Revere's Lantern and Canteen in Concord, Massachusetts. And then here's here stood the first and second meeting houses. And then here stood the fortified house. That one was in a scrapbook, it looks like. And then we have Dighton Rock in Dighton, Massachusetts on the Taunton River. Undivided back on that one. And here's built of timber from Old Fort in 1677 in Plymouth, Massachusetts. That one's from 1908. Oh, congratulations on unlocking silver, Bunny. Make sure you go up and claim your reward up there. Here's the trial of witchcraft for George Jacobs, Salem, Massachusetts. That one's 1911, so a witchcraft one there. And then we have Indian Leap in Norwich, Connecticut. And then this one's something in Meridian, Connecticut, Hubbard Park, 1908. And let me go ahead and run next now. Hey, Paper Cat. Hey, Bill Waith. Oddity Guy. Anybody else I've missed? Thanks for coming in. What we're doing right now is going through just random postcards that I got out of a farmhouse here in East Tennessee. We'll do this for about another 10 minutes, and then we'll switch over to the catalog and run some of the items with pre-bids and also take requests. So make sure you check that out. I also have a ton of stuff in the buy it now, and I do accept offers. And I should have mentioned too, shipping's capped at $9.21. So no matter how much you buy, the most you'll pay in shipping is $9.21, and all the buy it now items count towards that as well. So, all right. So here, we run next. 45 seconds. I'll keep throwing them down as long as people are bidding. And here we go. Here's Merrimer Lake in Meridian, Connecticut. Here is Toad Rock in Norwich, Connecticut, 1910. Here's View Along the Beach in Crescent Beach, Connecticut. Then here is The Cot of My Father, the Dairy House, nigh it, something. So it's a poem on the front of that one. Here is, this one first, I guess, Lime, Ohio. And then this one, that other one was kind of stuck to that one a little bit, so it does have a little wear on the front. Then we have the statue of something from 1909. All right, let me go ahead and put something in stack 2 for you there, Stock Diva. And then we have Crockett's Bridge, undivided back, and that'll be in 2. So number 1 or number 2? Number 1. And let's see, that is your first thing today. So let me write you a sticky note here. Thanks for the bids on that one. And let's get stack 2 populated. Here is U.S. Army Maneuvers Hiking Back to Camp. That one's a Tux postcard from 1908. Then here's a Lighthouse postcard in Connecticut, I think. Not sure that, 1912 on that one. Then here's Since They Kissed the Lads They Loved So Dear and Sent Them to the Front. So another war postcard there. Hey, Bookends, thanks for coming in. Hey, Ho Train. Here's something in Geneva. Then here's another foreign postcard. I think all these may be Geneva. So I'll go ahead and get through however many are in the stack from these, and then we'll start it. Mont Blanc. Now my daughters, they did the hike, the Tour de Mont Blanc, so I don't know if that's related to that at all. And here's something about the Alps. I know they did the hike through the Alps. They did 103 miles in about 7 days. So, and they said it was the hardest hike they'd ever done because it was valley to valley hiking, and you were doing huge elevation changes every day. All right, and here's one more. Norwich, Connecticut, 1909. So stack 1, stack 2, you'll get your choice if you win. And I will put postcards down until the timer ends. So we're going to run next. All right, we have the New Meadows Inn. Not sure where that is. Here's Entrance to Washington Park, showing Soldiers and Sailors Monument, 1907. Here's Pennsylvania Station in New York, 1912. Some kind of mountain scene. Not sure the year. Looks old. And then there's Block Island, Rhode Island. That one's 1910. Here's a Christmas one. 1909, it looks like. Then we have, I'm not sure where this one, 1909, but not sure where it's from. And then here's the largest hotel in the world. All right, a Bunny, 1 or 2. Hey, welcome in, Mariah Angelica's shop. Belinda Franklin, I think I said hello to you. Anybody else I missed? Number 2. All right, that'll go in your ever-growing stack over here. All right, let's get 2 down. We have time probably to do this another time or 2. Here's Haymarket Square in Boston, Massachusetts, 1909. Then here is Trinity Church in Boston, Massachusetts, 1910. Here's the city of Brockton, Massachusetts, undivided back, 1909. Hey, Whitney, 72 Granville, thanks for coming in. Right now we're doing postcard lots. You'll get your choice of either stack 1 or stack 2 if you win. We'll probably do this one and one more of these. Then we'll switch over to some of the curated lots in the catalog. So make sure you check the catalog out and either put a request in the chat or you can just put a pre-bid in. Here's St. John's Episcopal Church in Stamford, Connecticut, 1905, I think, maybe. 1905 or 1908. Here's a moonlit scene of North Danbury, Connecticut. I like these moon postcards. We found quite a bit of them. This one's 1901, so one of the older ones we've seen. Undivided back. Here's Grand Circus Park in Detroit, Michigan, 1922, with the Christmas Seals postmark. Washington Elm in Cambridge, Massachusetts. And let me do one more and then we'll start it. Here's Ferguson Public School Building in River Rouge, Michigan, 1909, undivided back. Hey, JoJo, thanks for coming in. All right, we're going to get this one started. 45 seconds, $3 start. Choice of stack 1 or stack 2, and I was running. This is Saint something in Norway. Here's a Thanksgiving postcard in Boston, unused. Here's tape weaving. Here's some kind of real photo postcard. Not sure. The First Congregational Church of Lebanon. Then here's Salt Lake City, Utah. This one does have a tear in the corner there, 1911. This looks like a foreign scene of some sort. Then here's Bern, maybe Switzerland. No, Ho Train, you can connect, you can request any lot number you want, or you can put a pre-bid in and I'll check those as well. No, I'm doing the postcards first, but then as soon as, all right, number 1, Bay Bunny, as soon as we run, I'm going to do one more of these, then we'll switch over to the curated lots for a little bit. So I'm roughly planning to do like 30 minutes and then swap back and another 30 minutes and swap back again. So, all right, stack 1. All right, so we'll do this one more time. And here's Bern, another Switzerland, I guess. This one also looks like a foreign postcard. And here is another one. This looks like a view of the Alps, maybe. And then some kind of maybe hotel or church or something. This definitely looks to be a view of the Alps. It's got all the different peaks listed there. And then this is, so these all look like they were burned, so maybe Switzerland. Hey, Flip Your Wig. Hey, Coach. Thanks for coming in. And this one says, it's time for a kiss. This one does have some wear along the edges. Little stain on the back. As you can see the condition of that one there. Then here's Manchester, Indiana, Main Street. Do a few more and then we'll get it started. Here's the high school in Goshen, Indiana. And then here's the state reservation at Revere Beach. Wow, look at all the people there. That one was 1907. It was so it's Boston, postmarked at Revere Station. I received something, and I'm not even going to try to read it. So, hey, who bought that? Thanks for coming in. All right, let me go ahead and get this one running. So for anybody who's just coming in, if you win, you can choose either stack 1 or stack 2. We're going to run it for 45 seconds, and I'll keep putting postcards down until the timer ends. So here we go. So this is Newark, New Jersey, undivided back there. This one is Chicago, Illinois. It does have some tearing across the top. Undivided back 1905. Here's Oakland, California, 1911. And here's Bryan, Ohio, with an anchor design on it. Here's Bright and Happy Christmas. That one's been in a scrapbook. Oops, sorry about that. Here is Would You Want Me as Your Fellow? This one's got a crease in it and some staining. Here's Fortress Monroe, Virginia. And here's Kansas City, Missouri, 1907. Here's the signing of the Declaration of Independence, it looks like. Colonel John Trumbull. Then we have a chrome here for stack 2. Here's Indian Trail and Potawatomi State Park. Let's see. And let me put one more in stack 2 so we stay even. And this one's the Pennsylvania Station in New York City. So do you want 1 or 2, Stock Diva? Number 1. All right. We'll put the postcards away for just a second, and we will come back to those. But let me check out my pre-bids, and if anybody has requests, well, let me just move this stuff, put it back in the box back here. I hardly even made a dent in the box, so we still have plenty to go through. All right, so I know I had to, let me write my pre-bids down here first. So we have 46, we have 41, 13, 14, 47, whoops, and 9. All right, and then if anybody has any requests and don't want to do a pre-bid, just put the lot number in the chat. I can also run stuff that way. Let me go ahead and do 9 first. I know that was the very first pre-bid I had. Let me move these out of the way. All right, so this is a postage stamp album. It does not have any postage stamps in it, though. Let me pin this. All right, so, but it does have very cool artwork on the front with the pirate ship here. It says King of Hobbies, Stamps, Hobby of Kings. Of course, does anybody hardly collect stamps anymore? I was a big stamp collector when I was a kid. In fact, I just had a lady give me 2 whole stamp collection books and a lot of other cool ephemera that I'm going to be going through for the next couple of week shows. I know there was a Confederate $100 bill in there that was legit. It wasn't a reproduction. So that was really cool. So you can see, I mean, there are some pages where there were stamps and people have taken them out. But, you know, a lot of good artwork of the stamps. So it's a cool stamp book, just no stamps in it. I think I might have saw one in here somewhere. But it's being sold as no stamps. So we will go ahead and start this. We're just going to do these for 20 seconds. And this one has a $3 starting bid, and it is running. Thank you for the bid, CarHop91. Welcome in, LJ, Sharon Sims, anybody else I've missed. Thanks for stopping by. We are doing the curated lots now. I just like saying the word curated. It makes me sound fancy, but the lots in the catalog, not the postcard lots. So, all right, CarHop91. Says that's your first purchase from me. Thank you so much. And so let me check off lot 9. Okay, lot 46. Let's see what that is. If I can find it. I'm semi-organized, but not like really organized. Oh, that's the stock certificate. So there are, let me pin these. thanks for the pre-bids on these. Looks like I have 3 pre-bids on this one. So there are 20 ones in here. I tried to make them all different. They're some of the same companies, but there's some variation either in color or denomination, whatever. But there shouldn't be any that are exactly the same. So you have a General Motors one from 1961, and the artwork on these is what's always so cool. There's the back of that one. Here's General Foods Corporation. There's the artwork on that one. And this one looks like it's from 1971. And I'm assuming all these have been cashed out and canceled and, don't have any value anymore beyond collectible value, but who knows. Here's PPG Industries. There's the artwork on that one. 1970. Then here's another PPG Industries, which is, I guess they officially changed their name from Pittsburgh Plate Glass Company to PPG because they crossed it out and wrote that. Which have the eagle on there. Then we have Rayette. Another eagle. Hey, welcome in, Psychogenealogist, Bean, 1992. Anybody else I missed, thanks for coming in. Here's Washington Gaslight Company, 1975. Here's the Boston and Maine Corporation. I think that's some kind of railroad or something, maybe. There's the back of that one. Then here's Howard Johnson, good old Hojo. 1973, it looks like. And then here's Pan Am Corporation. There she is. Then here's Peel Elder. I like the artwork on that one. Here's United States Lions Company. Hey, Face It Tiger. Hey, Carol Swift. Thanks for coming in. Here's Pan American World Airways. I think they changed their name to Pan Am later on, but this is pre-name change. That one's got really cool artwork on it. And here's another Pan Am one that's blue instead of reddish brown. Here's another United States Lions Company. Then here's the Grand Union Company. And as I mentioned, there's a few duplicate companies, but I tried to make sure they were at least different colors or something different about them. Like this is another Grand Union, but it has different artwork than that Grand Union. So then here's a Gulf State Utilities Company. And then a blue Gulf States Utilities Company. And then a purple Gulf States Utilities Company. Oh, this one was purple as well, but it had, like, that one's got that artwork. And this one's got this artwork. So that was what was different about those. And finally, the South Puerto Rico Sugar Company. You have the people working in the sugarcane fields there. All right, so we'll go ahead and start this. I know it has a couple of pre-bids. So we're going to start auction. We'll just do 20 seconds. It's a $3 start, and we are off and running. Thank you for the pre-bids. Thank you, Cyanide Bat. So all 20 of these for one price. Hope everybody's having a great Friday. I know it's been, this day's kind of dragging by for me because I'm ready for the basketball game tonight. But the Tennessee-Kentucky game, really nervous, but hoping Tennessee can finally beat Kentucky for the first time in 3 tries. So, hey, Christy McGuire Art, thanks for the bids, everyone. All right, sign on that. I will put that with your postcards. Thanks for the purchase. And you unlock bronze, so make sure you click on the crown up top and get your reward. All right, so that took care of lot 46. All right, lot 41. Let's see, that's the Western Maps. So let me pin that. Tell you what, I'm going to wait and run that one because it's heavier. Let me run some of these lighter ones first so that just in case it's your first purchase, although it doesn't really matter, I don't guess, because the most you're going to pay is the 9, whatever. But Tell you what, let me do lot 13 first. I gotta find lot 13, but hold on just a second. Let me find her. All my 40s were on the table, but it's probably over here somewhere. There's lot 15, lot 14. There it is. Lot 13. Yeah, this is really cool, and I don't know a lot about this one other than it's a cool picture. Um, I'll show you what I have been able to figure out. So I'm 99% sure this is Vivian Siegel. Um, so she was in this Castles in the Air movie in 1926. And the pictures I found, I didn't find this exact frame from the Myrna. If I don't have them in the catalog, I don't. I don't think I have much in the way of military today. But yeah, check out the buy it now and the auction stuff and make sure that that's correct. Um, so, you know, if you look at the back, it says this is a reproduction by Photocraft. So it's a reproduction, probably of an original photo, but the reproduction's obviously old. I could not find any information about this company or this address. So, then it's what's weird. She signed this loving thoughts to my dear grandparents, and it's signed, best I can tell, it says ERA, like era. It could be Exa, it could be Eva, maybe, but none of those names. Like I googled, like Vivian Siegel nicknames, other people in the movie. So I'm really not sure, and I don't know if this is printed on there or not. But in any case, that's all I know about it. So now you know everything I know. So 8 by 10 photo, though, I believe. Yeah, or 10 by 8. So we will go ahead and start this. Yeah, and I don't know how old the photo itself is. I mean, it looks like it might be from kind of the same era of the 20s, but it could be a little newer too. So, all right, here we go. Start auction, 20 seconds, and we're off and running. But yeah, typical flapper. I can see her standing up and doing the Charleston right there. So, all right, I got Cyanide Bat in at $4. Thanks for the bid. And maybe you'll have more luck like figuring out like who signed this, like if it was her or just somebody else random signed it. Like maybe their grandparents were big fans of um, Vivian Siegel, and it was a gift. Who knows? But in any case, all right. Lot 13 went to Cyanide Bat. Okay, I will do that right now. Let me see. Let me pin that one. Now, these are really, really cool pictures. Let's see, lot 14. Let me find those real quick. I'm usually a little more organized than this, but I saw 14 a second ago. Hold on. Yep, there's lot 14. All right, so these are 3 vintage snapshots of clowns. I think they're all from the 1950s. Well, I mean, because a couple of them are actually dated. So this one's dated 1955. And it looks like a clown getting a haircut with his little shorter crown buddy there watching. And it says, having my haircut in Los Angeles when we played there by our circus barber. Some stuff, Ed Kid. Some stuff, Ed Kids. So I'm not sure what that means. But in any case, there's that picture. So you can see the clown partially in his makeup, I guess. And then you have these 2 people. I'm not sure. I guess this is, that's the same guy who was getting his haircut, I think. So that looks to be the same person who was getting his haircut, maybe. Makeup looks the same anyway. No date on that one, though. And then finally, this is my favorite one. You have these 4 clowns here. just posing for a picture somebody took of him. It does have one little piece of like, wear to the photo there. And then the back of this says Robert J. Ralpher, South Bend, Indiana. So, and you can see it was in a scrapbook at some point, but probably from the same time frame based on the phone numbers there. So you got these three circus clown photos, and we will go ahead and start this one, and it is running. Thanks for the bid, Cyanide Bat. I love that one. Looks like you might be the only clown fan in here, so. All right, good pickup there. Thanks for stopping by and enjoy going back to work. Let me stick that over there. Hey, Tackle Finder, thanks for coming in. All right, so that took care of, 14 and 13, I think. Then I have 47 and 9. Let me see what 9 is. Oh, I've already run 9. That's why I couldn't find it. So I got 41 and 47 left. So let me go ahead and get 41 and 47. And then that'll take care of all the pre-bids I have. So if you see anything else, you can either put the lot number. You're welcome, sign on that. You can put the lot number in the chat, or you can put a pre-bid in, and I'll keep my eye out for those. Here in about 15 minutes, we'll go back to some postcards again. Let me run 47 first. So it is 10 handwritten 1800s. They're not letters, actually. They're more like documents, I guess. Look like legal documents and things of that nature. All right, so this one is from, where did I see a date on it? 1895. And it's on Park Hill House, Stanton, Burton-on-Trent. Stationery. Dear sirs, I beg to enclose herewith something in payment for something. So, got that one. Then here's 1898 to Mr. Robinson. And it just says memo to Mr. Robinson. So, got that one. Then here's a memorandum from 1872. So, and then here's the executors of William Goodfellow deceased. So it's some kind of disbursement from a will or something maybe, but it's 1869. I think that's the date on there. We have 1865, so that's the oldest one we've seen so far. It looks like a ledger entry, some kind of maybe disbursement. But there you go, 1869. Then here's something, particulars of property and mortgage. And you can see how neat the handwriting is there. And I don't know if I see a date on this one right offhand, but I'm pretty sure that one's probably from the 1800s too. And then this one is 1857. So I think we have a new oldest one now. Hey, Caitlin Moe. Hey, Terry Amson. Anybody else I missed, thanks for stopping by. 1854, and this is a memorandum of agreement between some people. It looks like quite a bit of writing in that one. And this one still has the original pen they used, and it's 1899. Dear Mr. Comans, I think, by his parents' marriage settlement of 1859, the fund. So it's, once again, some kind of letter about some kind of financial disbursements or something maybe. That one's multiple pages. And this one is 1883. And then finally, we have 1891. So I think the oldest one we saw was in the 1850s. And Farmer says, I think, oh, I guess that's their last name. All right, so in case you're going to get all these, it's got a $5 start. We'll run it for 20 seconds. Hey, Cly003. Hey, Kevin. Thanks for coming in. Anybody else I missed? And that is running for the whole stack of 1800s documents, all handwritten. Hey, Bunny, looks like they're going to take this one. Good pickup on that one. And thanks for the bid. All right, I think I have one more pre-bid. Let me go ahead and pin this one. Hope everybody's doing great on this Friday and has a fun weekend planned. Probably going to watch basketball all weekend. Hopefully be watching Tennessee play more than just tonight, but we'll see how it goes. Oh, that's not the right lot. Lot 41, not 40. I know I brought it. Oh, there it is. I knew I grabbed it already. So these are not, I don't know, these aren't particularly old, but it's all just maps that were from out west, maps and brochures. So I'm not going to unfold all these, but, you know, here's a Grand Canyon. Here's El Malpai, I guess. Cedar Breaks. There's another one of those. Oops. See if I can keep from throwing it in the floor. There's Mesa Verde. And these are all like, you know, national park maps here, it looks like. El Moro. Then we have a Four Corners brochure. I don't know if it's got a map in there or not, but looks like more of a brochure on that one. Then here's a Southwestern States map from AAA. Definitely not going to unfold these. If you're my age, you remember driving and unfolding and folding maps in the car. It was worse than looking at your cell phone. Here's Arizona and New Mexico. And then here's Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Here's Indian Country Guide map. Arizona, Colorado, New Mexico, and Utah. Then here's Grand Canyon River Guides. Grand Canyon Youth. Hey, Notchco, thanks for coming in. Congratulations on unlucky bronze, Christy McGuire Art. Make sure you claim your reward up on the crown up there. Another Grand Canyon brochure, another Four Corners brochure. There's the Petrified Forest, and then there's the Grand Canyon. So just at a pound, just under a pound of maps, and $2 start, and that's running. Thank you for the bid, Dry Creek Trading Company. Make sure you follow Dry Creek Trading Company. They also sell on here. If anybody else sells and has shows coming up, feel free to put your shows in the chat. I'm all about promoting other people on Whatnot. I know when I've been on Whatnot now for about 4 years, I think. And all right, thank you, Brian. Hey, Scudder Bear. All right, let's see. Any requests for anything in the catalog? If not, we're just about time to go back to postcards. But let's see. Let me just see if there's anything I want to grab real quick and run. Tell you what, since we're getting ready to switch back to postcards, let's just do some of these postcard lots that are in the. Oh, I got 2 more pre-bids now. So we will do the Viewmaster reels and the vintage ephemera, and then we'll go back. We'll do those 2, and then we'll go back to the postcards. So. And so then you wanted 2 Ho Train as well. Let me go ahead and pull that real quick. Number 2 is the travel decals. Let me find that one real quick. It's got to be on the bottom somewhere. There they are. All right, so I'll tell you what, we'll run like 2, 45, and 50. And then we'll switch back and do postcards for about 30 minutes, and then we can come back to this stuff. So, what was the, let me see what 50 is real quick. That's the vintage ephemera, and there it is. All right, so I have, there's 50, there's 45, and there's 2, and we'll run those 3, then we'll go back to postcards for about 30 minutes. All right, we'll do the Viewmasters first. Oh, okay. No worries. I may run them anyway since I pulled them out, but... All right, so first up is lot 45, and this is going to be 15 vintage Viewmaster reels, and they're all from Canada, Hawaii, and Alaska. I think there's 2 from Alaska, 2 from Hawaii, and the rest are from Canada. So here's the Canadian Rockies. Here's Canadian Rockies. So both this one, well, that one was the Jasper Ice Fields. This one's Jasper Park. Then we have Banff National Park. My kids went to Banff one time. There's another Banff. There's Kenora and Lake of the Woods. There's Fraser Canyon. There's Waterton Lakes. There's Laurentian Mountain Area. Laurentian. I'm sure I'm butchering that. There's the Lakehead region. And then there's Milan Lake, Jasper National Park. Then we get to the 2 Hawaii ones. We have hula dancers. Let's see if there's nothing else in there, just so you can. Then here's another hula dancers. So 2 hula dancers. Then we have the Eskimos in Alaska. So I lied, there's 3 Alaska. And then there's Anchorage, Alaska, and rural Quebec, Canada. No, I didn't. There's 2 Alaska, 2 Hawaii, and then there was a Canada at the end there. So, all right, so we're going to run this, just a $3 start, and it is off and running. So Alaska, Hawaii, then the rest are Canada. Viewmaster sold separately. All right, Ho Train, congratulations and thank you so much. Appreciate everybody being here today. All right, and then we had lot 50. Let me just, lot 50 will take a second more to go through. Since I pulled it, I'm going to go ahead and run lot 2 as well. I guess that's my request. Let me get it pinned. So these are from the 50s and 60s, and they're travel decals like you would put on the back of your RV or, I guess, car. So we have one from Missouri, the Show Me State, with the donkey on there. And these all are unused, but I mean, I can't speak to how sticky they still are or anything. Here's the one from the 60s. This is 1968 Dog Patch USA. Does anybody know where Dog Patch USA is? I'm not even sure. Is it Arkansas or somewhere like that, maybe? And then here's Grand Canyon, the Hopi House. And this one's dated Arkansas, so I was right. This one's dated 1951. Let's see, that one didn't have a date on it. Then here's an Arizona one. That one's, so this must have been when they were there. It says 11/14/51 to 11/16/51. And then here's New Mexico, Land of Enchantment. And that one's 11/12/51, 5:35 p.m. to 11/13/51. I guess that's the time they spent driving through the states, maybe through the state. But in any case, you're going to get all 5 of those. And let's go ahead and start this. And it is running. Arizona, Dog Patch USA, Missouri, Grand Canyon, and New Mexico. Hey, Pill, welcome in. Parks, welcome in. Anybody else I missed? All right, no interest in those. Those will go in the loser pile, I guess. Loser lot. And then, what did I do with, here we go. And then lot 50. So this is a really cool miscellaneous ephemera lot, or ephemera starter pack, I guess you could also call it. So yeah, if you don't collect ephemera and you're looking to get into collecting ephemera, this will give you a good start on the hobby. All right, so here's a Christmas card, it appears. Let's see if I can get it open to the right place. Yeah, so it's from Ethel Gaddy. It's got a little note in there. So tied with a ribbon, though. And then we have a pair of good wishes. You can see it's got a little corner turned up there. That's from Joanne Causey. A gay pair of wishes for the season that's here. Just a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Then we have a letter from 1924, I think. Let's see. Got an Easter seal or a Christmas seal on the back from 1924. Let's see what it says. Yeah, so it's just a Christmas card they sent or received. Sorry about that. Let's see if I can get this open. I don't remember what this was. Ta-da! Oh, it's a 1921 Cabarrus Motor Company, automobiles and accessories. Let's see, did they buy a car or just accessories? Grease cap or a grease cup. Uh, balance. Yeah, so it looks like maybe just maintenance. It doesn't say, I don't think it says what kind of car it was. But anyway, a 1921 car bill. Then here is a letter from U.S. Army Air Forces, the training detachment at Presbyterian College. Hey, I had an uncle who went to Presbyterian College. Actually, I had two uncles who went to Presbyterian College. Dear James, I've been planning on writing you for a long time, but I have been busy part of the time, and other times I didn't know where to write. Take good care of Jackie, and if she doesn't do right, turn her over your knee. No fooling, but I think she will be okay. I'm glad she is at college with you so you can take care of her and help her. Wonder if, yeah, taking care of her and helping her by turning you over her knee. Then there's another letter here. I don't know if it was in the same envelope or not originally, but you got those two. Here's a postcard just randomly thrown in here of the Haunted Mansion at Disney World. Love Disney World. Here is it says Cincinnati Reds. Looks like maybe it was an autograph book somebody made for school. I don't know exactly what year, but the fact it says Sheila Cox Disco makes me think it's probably 70s, since that's when disco was popular. So yeah, it's just they must have made little autograph books for their friends to sign, and these people must have been a Cincinnati Reds fan. Here's Now You Can Tie Your Tie Perfectly. I should keep this. Regular knot and Windsor knot, and the bow tie. My son needs that probably. He's 24, and I think his sister used to have to tie his tie. Maybe his girlfriend does it now. He used to have me tie it, and then he would just like keep it tied when he was playing basketball, and they had to wear their suits to the games and stuff. Here's the Declaration of Independence. It says, "Oh, you didn't see that?" No, just kidding. It's not original. Obviously, it's a reproduction. Um, It is sealed. I don't know if it just got sealed back from moisture, but I'm not going to try to open it. So, got that. Then here's the Methodist Million, enlisted for the Christian conquest of the world, 1922. Does have a crease in it there. Here's Because You Were a Scout. So it's like a Boy Scouts of America membership card, but they did not fill. Oh, well, let's see. No, it's a credit that you could have ordered Boys Life for 75 cents. Here's just an envelope. It was at a military base. I do not know what was inside it. There's nothing inside it now. Here's some old postcards. It looks like maybe that one time this was a postcard folder. It's all just kind of loose now. But there's clamoring above decks to see the Statue of Liberty. It's the good old USA. Hurrah, hurrah. Then there's stoking below the decks. And then there's passing the USS Leviathan. I think all these go together. And then there's the Troy. There's cutting up the Chow. And then there's the officer. It must have been a military ship. And there's a glimpse of where the troops sleep. Look at that. Has anybody in here ever slept in something like that? Hey, Flippers Girl, Falcon, Dalton Creel, Justin McBee, anybody else I missed? There's a Mickey Finn's Roaring Twenties Warehouse, a membership card. And then here is 1923, another, let's see what kind of letter this is. It's another Christmas card. I'm not going to take it out, but yeah, it looks like another Christmas card. So a lot of stuff in this lot. Here's a life insurance policy for somebody, 1920. The Aetna Life Insurance Company. There's the rest of it there. Oh, there you go. Here is greetings. Looks like a little Christmas card. Please let this little card attest the fact that greetings true left on their way for Christmas Day and found their path to you. Here's another little card of some sort. Does look like it's got like a piece missing out of it. It's another Christmas card though. Here's an Easter card. Best Easter wishes from Mabel. Then here's birthday greetings from Chester Menenheimer. Here's some kind of letter from John H. Weatherly. Friday night. Dear Jackie, how does it feel to be almost through with the semester of college? Or at least something. I suppose your semester ends shortly after Christmas. Christmas doesn't seem long off because I am afraid we won't get through with our training in time to get home. So maybe somebody was in the military, maybe sending that back. Then here is a Selective Service System, Notice of Classification, 1965. So a draft card, I guess. Here's Christmas Cheer. Just a couple more things here. I don't remember what this was. Oh, it's 1920, like a W-2 almost, I guess. They made $980 in 1920. Somebody lived in Kannapolis, North Carolina. They worked for Canon Manufacturing Company. Here is a marriage announcement from 1932. Thought I heard something. Sorry about that. And then here's a Christmas card from the King Tut service station. Here's another draft card. This one's 1953. I remember getting my little registration card when I registered back in 85, I think. Here's a telegraph about something. Congratulations and best wishes for a long and happy life together. Sorry we can't be there. Telegraphs made you be short, sweet, and to the point. And then finally, yeah, Jackie. Oh, okay, that's right. So that the second letter was, got it. All right, here's Confederate currency. This is set B. I'm not going to take it out, but it's souvenir currency. So yeah, let's go back to this letter real quick and just see. So, dear James, and that was from Chester, and then this was dear Jacqueline, and I don't know who that was from. So, in any case, you're getting that whole stack of stuff there, and we're going to start this. Oh, thanks for all the pre-bids on this one. Um, I don't even remember what I was originally starting it at, but it doesn't matter. Let me see. Start auction. Yeah, $3 start, 20 seconds, but I think it's got pre-bids up to 16. So here we go. So a lot of really neat stuff. Like I said, kind of an ephemera starter pack, for lack of a better term. And the cool letter, the Haunted Mansion postcard, the draft cards, several Christmas cards. And thank you, M. Nance. I think that's your first purchase from me. Yeah, for anybody who wasn't in here earlier, this will ship out no later than Monday. I always say that, and a lot of times I end up shipping it out on Saturday instead. But I'm going to be watching Tennessee. Well, not just Tennessee. I'm going to be watching basketball tonight, so I'm guessing. And I've got to work at my antique mall tomorrow, so there's a good chance I will not get this out until Monday. So. Yeah, you'll have to let us know, M. Nance, if you find out anything exciting about those letters. So, all right. I think that took care of everything. Now we can go back to some postcards if y'all want to. Let me just check the pre-bid. Okay, yep. So we're out of pre-bids. So let's go back and do some postcards again. And so for people who weren't in here, I'm going to build 2 stacks of cards. Let me take this off and just show you what we're looking at. So I still have all these in this box to go through. Originally, I had like probably 16 of these boxes, and we're down to the last one finally. Had a bunch of albums before, but we found everything from Halloween postcards to some early 1900s baseball postcards. Just a lot of really, really neat stuff. So who knows what we'll pull out of here. I have not gone through these, so I don't have any idea what we're going to pull out either. But what I'm going to do is put 2 stacks of about 10 on the table or so. Then I'll start the clock for 45 seconds. And whoever wins it, I'll keep throwing cards down till the clock runs out. And whoever wins can choose either stack 1 or stack 2. So let me get me a big stack here to start with. And most of the ones we found have been like early 1900s into the 1920s, with a few, every once in a while, a chrome will pop up or some linens. I mean, the wild thing about all these postcards that I found is there's no rhyme or reason to how they were like how they were put together, and they're just kind of random all over the place, which has been fun to go through. So, so we'll put that stack 1, and then that's cool. This is like raised, this little seal or shield there. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm not sure what country that is, but it went all the way around the world for sure. We'll just throw that one in, but I won't count it. Here's London, St. Paul's Cathedral. Then here's the old castle, Hurst, WM, wherever that is. 1909, maybe. So stick that there. Here's a photo postcard of Southampton. And these will start at $3, the bidding will. And we'll see where it goes. Here's Penshurst Village, 1909. Here's Southampton again. Looks like a pier. It does have, I don't know if it was somebody stapled it to something. Here's greetings from Zoomerzet. Zoomerzet greets thee with a smile, with welcome offered every mile. That's a salmon watercolor. That one's a little newer. And then I'm not sure what that is. Looks like maybe a palace of some sort. And then here's another, maybe Moscow. It's a cathedral. Oh yeah, that one's a tux there. Here's Exposition Universal of 19 something. And then here's one, Piccadilly Circus in London. Somebody took the stamp off that. Those dang stamp collectors. Here's Monte Carlo Casino. Let me do a couple more and then we'll start it. And then I'll keep throwing them down. Here's St. Paul's Cathedral in London. That one's kind of thick. This one's kind of a pinkish color. Hotel de Ville in Paris. So we're kind of into a run of some foreign postcards here. There's a salmon postcard. And there's the casino in Monte Carlo again. Oh, thanks for sharing my show, M. Nance. I really, really appreciate that. And then this one looks like it's from England. All right, let me put one more on each stack and then we'll start it. This is Chester, Great Britain and Ireland. And then one for here. This one's Prague, so I guess Czechoslovakia. All right, so let me start this. It's going to be 45 seconds. $3 start, and you get your choice of either stack 1 or stack 2 if you win, and that is off and running. Here's Trinity College in Oxford. And I think most of these have been like early 1900s, maybe up into the 20s with a few newer ones. Here's the Abbott's Kitchen in Glastonbury. Then we have just a private postcard. Here's Parliament, London, undivided back there. That one's some kind of palace, maybe. Here's the Betsy. Now we're back in America again. Betsy Williams College in Roger Williams Park, Providence, 1914 on that one. And let me put you one in stack 2, which is Hotel Normandy in Detroit, Michigan. And stack 1 or 2. A Bunny knows the drill. Number 1. And stack 2 will just continue to grow till somebody finally takes it. You're getting a big stack there, A Bunny, so. All right, so let's build up one here, and this is the Riverfront in Springfield, Massachusetts, 1907. Yeah, and for anybody just coming in, we can switch back to the stuff in the catalog, maybe in 20 minutes or so. So check that out and either pre-bid or just put a lot number in the chat, and I can pull it for you. Here's 1910, Detroit, Michigan. Here's Long Beach and Long Island, 1924. Must be, well, no, I don't know that it's cold. I guess that's just how they dressed. Look at all the suits and dresses. Everybody's dressed up. This is the Royal Hawaiian Hotel. So I guess that's in Hawaii. And then there's Spokane, Washington, Italian Gardens. Here's another moonlit postcard. Olympia, Washington. 19, I don't see a date on it. How are you getting along? Here's Greetings from Milwaukee Land. The Tripoli Temple. Here's another one of those just pre-printed postcards. This one's Congratulations, but it has a big, well, not a big, but you can see it's got a tear out of the corner, 1909. Well embossed on that one. Let me put a few, and then this one's got a crease in the corner, so I'll just go ahead and throw it in. But look at all the embossing on that one. And then finally, here's Buckingham Palace, 1930. All right, let me go ahead and get it started. And it is running. Here's Queen Victoria Memorial in Buckingham Palace. Here's another Buckingham Palace, like a real photo type postcard. Here's Front Street in Hamilton, 1955. Here's a Lennon card. Riverside and Westside Drive, Grant's Tomb, 1941. Here's Wilkes Barre, Pennsylvania. That one obviously came out of a scrapbook. Here is Battle Monument. And here's London, Buckingham Palace. London, Buckingham Palace. That one's a tux there. Seen quite a few tucks. Oh, hey, Bunny Vintage Company. Number 1 or number 2? Number 2. Good strategy. Alternate and let one grow and then get the bigger one. Hey, Mitchell May June. All right. Looks like we got a run on Buckingham Palace cards here. So there's another one. Here's another one. British Airways. Let me get a drink of water real quick. All right, here's a Best Wishes. That one's embossed, 1909. And here's the baby riding the stork. May good fortune follow this great event. It is also embossed. It's like somebody scribbled in pencil on the back. That's the Stork card series number 1. I don't know if that means anything. Then here's Easter greetings. So we're into some like holiday type cards. Undivided back, 1907. Then we have Peace. I received your letter. Was glad to hear from you. Hey, Stephanie War. Hi, Mitchell May June. I think I may have said Michelle May June the first time, but Mitchell May June. 1908, dear Sarah. Best wishes. Here's old friend. I dream again. The skies are blue. The sound of rippling water rivers fills my ears. And borne upon the current of past years, my thoughts are drifting back again to you. 1915. Then we have a best wishes. 1915. This one's got a really bad crease there. So, but it's Alliance, Ohio, 1915. Let me put a couple more. Some kind of heart-shaped wreath there. Good and embossed. And then one more, and then we'll get it started. Here's hearty birthday greetings from Nellie. Whoa, Nellie. And that one's 1909. All right, let me get this one started. And it is running. So this one's got a rose on it. Then you have this one that says, what every woman knows when her dressmaker has made good. This one does have a crease in it, but it's from, not sure the year. And then this one, Columbus, Ohio. Here's another flower postcard. That one's a tux. It's embossed. It does have a little blemish there. Here's another flower postcard, 1907. Here's a wishing you a happy birthday. I think I haven't been alternating, but anyway, that one's got a tear, so I'm just going to throw it down. And then here's best wishes. I'll put a few in stack 1. And this one's got a crease, so I'm going to throw it down so I can get through some more. To my true love, number 1. And then for number 2, we have the old homestead. Oh, congratulations, A Bunny. You unlock gold now, so make sure you claim that coupon for sure. And do you want stack 1 or 2? Was that, let's see, was the one you just put, let me confirm if you want 1 or 2 again. I wasn't looking at the chat. 1, okay. Yeah, you're here on a good day for these because it's been funny. I mean, from week to week, I've had some weeks where like these same kind of lots will go for $20, $30, $40. I mean, I've had, and then other weeks, just depending on, what's going on, you have the right people in the room, they go for $3 to $5. So So yeah, good gets by you. Let's see what we got. So for stack one, get my train of thought here. We got Italy. Looks like another Italian postcards. We'll build up one here. And then here's Bordeaux. Yeah, I wished I had some more of the albums. Those albums were so much fun to look through. And I mean, those had I guess that's where they'd put their best postcards. And that's where we found a lot of the Halloween ones. And although we found some of the cool baseball ones just in these boxes, my favorite one, having lived in Nashville, we found a baseball postcard from it's like 1904, 1905, but it was Nashville had won the Southern League Championship, and it had all their pictures on the card, like headshots, and then on the back, somebody had been to the game, like gave the score and all that. It was really neat. So here's another Bordeaux, France. Looks like we're into some more foreign postcards here. I guess that's 1904. And there's some hotel. Oh, I like this one. It's like a real photo type postcard. It is foreign, but look at the horse. I don't know what exactly they're pulling there. It doesn't say, but it's Brussels, maybe. I'm going to throw this one in, but it's in terrible condition, as you can see. And then here's one that just says Sarah. So do we have anybody named Sarah in the chat? And it went to Miss Sarah Weisenbaugh, dear cousin. So probably early 1900s based on that stamp. And then this one also says Sarah. Let me do a couple more, and then I need to grab some more out of the box. Here's Greetings, 1918. Let me check and make sure I haven't gotten any pre-bids over here. Nope. And then we'll do one more, and then we'll get it started. Here's an Easter Greetings with the two chicks, and it's 1913. All right, let me grab some more from the box back here. Let's see, I haven't gotten any from here. All right, let me go ahead and run next. Hey, Junk Paper Scissors, thanks for coming in. That's running. So here's Hotel Essex, 1939. Here's another like nighttime scene. The writing's smeared on this one. Here is a Lennon, the Riviera, Daytona Beach, 1942. Here's the Boys Dormitory in Kaiser, West Virginia, 1939. Here's Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. That one came out of a scrapbook. Here's San Antonio, Texas. Not sure on the date on that one. By war bonds, probably the 40s. Here's a Chrome, Phelps Stokes Chapel. We'll put that one with that one because it's the same. Here's the Dogwood and the Redbud. Looks like a couple of Chromes we're getting here. And a Bunny Spinach. Let me just put one. Let me put all these are all Craftsman ones. So one or two. Well, I don't have three, so that means you want the stack at the bottom. Number two. All right. All right, a couple more of these, and then we can switch back over to the catalog for a little bit. So let me go ahead and build up stack two. This is the Draper Building. I'm not sure what school. Let's see. Berea, Kentucky, Berea College. Here's the Yale campus in New Haven, Connecticut, undivided back 1906. Here's Derby, Connecticut. I'm not sure on the date on that one. Early 1900s, though. And then here is Fort Trumbull, New London Harbor. Undivided back postcard. Here's Leesville in Moodus, Connecticut. Then here is the landing place of the Pilgrims. In 1620 they landed. Here's Duxbury, Massachusetts. And then here's the Pennsylvania station in New York City. Here's another Chrome of the Ted Shawn Theater at Jacob's Pillow in Lee, Massachusetts. Here's People on the Paseo, Kansas City, Missouri. Oh, Pergola on the Paseo, 1907. Then this one said, Would you want me as your fellow? I think we saw another one of these. Oh, I think maybe I must have pulled out from where I'd thrown these back in the box. This one has a crease. So I am going to, I don't remember which, I think I was throwing in one. So we'll go ahead and do this one. This was Bryan, Ohio with the anchor. And now we'll go ahead and start the auction. Let me grab a few more so I don't run out. All right, so we're going to run it. Hey, Rosie. Hey, Ross EG. Thanks for coming in. Anybody else I missed? I am Stuart with Franklin Hill Ventures here in Knoxville, Tennessee. Right now we're doing some postcard lots, but I have a bunch of stuff in the catalog as well. So if anybody sees anything they want me to run, just put the lot number in the chat or put a pre-bid in. All right, we're going to run these. And Chicago, Illinois, undivided back. Looks like a view of the Alps. And then there's some kind of castle. I'll try to go through these quick to get as many as I can in there. There's Edinburgh Castle, 1909 maybe. Not sure what year that is. Looks like we're in a run of castles here. Somewhere in Britain. Real photo does have a little chip out of the bottom. Postcard picture. Here's a Brussels. Going as fast as I can. Here's Paris. Here's another Brussels. And then here's a Cathedral for stack 1 and Fontainebleau for stack 2. Wow, they wrote a lot on there. Number 1. All right, tell you what, let me, we can come back to these here in just a little bit, but let's switch back over and see if there's anything anybody's interested in the catalog. So if y'all want to take a look in there and see if you see anything, and you can either put a lot number in the chat and I can run it, or pre-bid. Otherwise, I'll just pull some things and start running. All right, so we've been, let me just pull what's in front of me here. So this is going to be lot 10. Let me pin this. Tell you what, for most of this, let me turn the camera back around, and some of this stuff will be easier to show that way. And you can get to see my smiling face. All right, a little too close to the camera there. Hey, so how's everybody doing today? Hey, Daily Digital. Hey, KK Bar. Thanks for stopping in. I think I caught everybody above that. But anybody I've missed, I'm Stuart with Franklin Hill Ventures. Live here in Knoxville, Tennessee, and in addition to Whatnot, I sell in a bunch of other different online marketplaces. I also have 3 antique booth locations here in the Knoxville area. So if you're ever coming through, make sure you stop by West End Antiques or Beard and Antique Mall, both in Knoxville, or Granny's Attic in Clinton. In fact, if you happen to be in town this weekend, I'll be working at Granny's Attic both Saturday and Sunday. So, all right, so lot 10, this is going to be 6 postcard folders. So we have one for Utah here. Hey, R. Swede, thanks for coming in. And it just says an art folder of Utah's national parks. I'm not going to open all these. I'll just kind of show you what's inside. But, you know, they're just, the whole book was meant to be mailed. And then it just has views inside of each one. So you have Utah. Then you have beauties of our southwestern desert. You got all the different kind of cactuses or cacti on the back, I guess. Then you have the Overseas Highway, Miami Homestead to Key West, Florida. I've driven that a time, I think twice maybe. And then we have Santa Barbara, California. Scenic folder of Santa Barbara, California, and on the back you have the bungalows at Miramar and Midwinter. And then we have the big trees of Santa Cruz. And then we have a souvenir folder of Cincinnati, Ohio. And then on the back you have the picture of the airport. So if anybody wants to see inside any of them, just let me know. Otherwise, I'm just going to run them. So all 6 for one money. And we do not need to do 45 seconds. In fact, we'll just do 15. And that is running. So thank you, Bunny. So where does everybody else live? Any other Southerners in the chat or in the show? I am pretty much Tennessee born and bred. I was born in North Carolina, but I only lived there a year, and I've been in Tennessee for 56 years now. It's hard to believe, but I think I'm 57. Louisiana, Wisconsin. I have not been. Wisconsin's, well, have I been to Wisconsin? I think I went to Milwaukee one time. I've been to Louisiana quite a few times. I've been to New Orleans at least 3 or 4 times. I went to Mardi Gras one time, and while it was fun, I'm glad I did that when I was younger. We'll just leave it at that. I don't know that I could handle Mardi Gras anymore. All right, let's do lot 49. And make sure you bookmark my upcoming shows. I've got shows every Friday, either 1 or 1:15, depending on what my estate sale situation is that day. On weekends where I don't have any estate sales to go, I'll do them at 1. Otherwise, I'll do them. Oh, thanks for the raid, Horn Pout. Welcome in. Tell you what, let's run a giveaway since I got a raid. I haven't run a giveaway yet this show, so let me find something to give away first. Tell you what, I'll just grab some postcards out of here. So we'll do like 5 postcards. So we'll do John Knox's house in Edinburgh. Tell you what, let me go ahead and get it pinned here. Or started. I guess you don't pin. You can tell you've been on Whatnot a long time when you still say pin giveaways, because that's not even an option anymore. Now it's just start giveaway. All right, so that giveaway's running. And for anybody just coming in, if you see anything in the auction that you want me to run, just put the lot number in the chat or pre-bid. So there's 1. Here's a Rome postcard. I think all these are probably 20s or 30s. There's 3. I'll just do all these that I have in my hand. There's 4. There's 5. Here's a real photo postcard of the First Congregational Church of Lebanon. And here's an old turkey postcard, Thanksgiving embossed. And all this will be in the giveaway. There's that one. There's that one. Here's Grand Circus Park in Detroit, Michigan. And finally, this moonlit view of North Danbury, Connecticut from 1907. So however many that was, that will be the giveaway. Tell you what, let me go ahead and put a sticky on them so I can write whoever's name wins. And for anybody just coming in, my shipping's capped at $9.21, I think it is. So the most you'll pay for shipping is $9.21. That includes anything out of the Buy It Now as well. So make sure you check out the stuff there. Have a ton of stuff in the Buy It Now. And also, like if you like more glassware and other things like that, just check out my marketplace. I don't put my glassware in my shows, but I have a ton of it in the marketplace. My wife calls me the China King in Knoxville because I sell so much China. So, all right. So this next lot 49, let me pin it. Oops. 49. This is going to be 20 vintage greeting cards, and they're all unused. I got these in an estate sale quite a while ago. I've been going through these. I probably had a couple of hundred to start with. But they must have worked for some kind of greeting card company like back in the day, because like these were just all together in a box, and but they're different companies and stuff, so maybe they just collected them. But in any case, none of them were used. So you have a birthday card, and it's from Greetings Inc. But as I mentioned, they're all unused. A few of them do have like some like minor foxing. Uh, I'll let you know. Well, like that one's got a little bitty tear on the back. I'll point out if there's anything major wrong with them. Here's a best wishes to you. Yeah, like this one got laced a little bit, some kind of bug or whatever at some point in its history. Got a hold of it. Here is she is just away. I guess that means they died, that they're just away. Yeah, she would not want the one she loves to grieve for her today. We must not say that she is dead, for she is just away. So, a funeral card, and then we have a happy birthday to my wife. I guess maybe most of them are Greetings Inc. Well, no, that one's not. So, I thought maybe that was the company they work for. So, yeah, the cute little house inside there. Minute 26 on the giveaway. Hey, David's Law, welcome in. Sarah, I think I've Spine to Sell, Snook Smile, anybody else I missed. There's a congratulations card, another Greetings Inc. This one says, gee, thanks. And you got the cute little puppy dog. There's whatever year it is. Sometime I can read Roman numerals, but I've been talking too long today, and my brain's not working well enough to read those. This one says, to my secret pal. And this one also, if you look, it's got a little bit of the lacing of the paper. But it says, to my secret pal, Anne, Angeline, Bonnie, Belva, Carol, Cecilia, Donna, Dorothy, Eleanor, Eve, Florence, Francis, go on and name over all the names that you have ever heard. And then when you come to mine, of course, but just as sure as my name is not Petunia Estelle or Tours. So I don't know. And it lists about 1 million names in there. Let's see. It's got Xanthippe. That's a name you don't see very often. Xanthippe. Or Xanthip. Here's the Calm of the Holy Night. So a Christmas card. Then here's wedding congratulations to an ideal couple with the hers and his towels. I assume these would be great for like scrapbooking and stuff. A lot of good images. Oh, hey, congratulations. That was good that you won. You've bought a lot today. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And thanks to everybody else who entered. Go ahead and write your name on there. Just in case they get separated from your other stuff. The main thing I like about when I do catalog auctions is I don't have to write everybody's name down, since I can just look in the catalog. But this is kind of a hybrid, so I'm still having to write names down. Here's a joyful Easter to you. This one's more like just a bookmark or a die cut thing more than a card. Then here's from the four of us, so a Christmas card there. It's got the 4 stockings on the inside. And then here's birthday greetings, dear sister-in-law. It's a Gibson card. And then this one, there ought to be a special day to show appreciation. It's another Greetings Inc. Let's see what's on the inside of this one. Then a lot of good graphics on the inside of this one. Then here's being friends with you. I call just absolutely ducky. Whenever I hear the word ducky, I think of Pretty in Pink. A great movie. Hey, Nurse, you and me. Thank you for coming in. Happy birthday, sweetheart. And just a couple more here. Happy birthday to Grandfather. Got the birds on the cattails there. Yeah, There they are again. Then we have greetings. It says made in USA. Then we have a season's greetings. This one does have like an ink stain or something on the back. And two more. There's Thistle. It's a Bonnie note. Yeah, it's just more like a little note card than a greeting card. Actually, I lied. There were three more. So now, best wishes on your wedding day. Yeah, there's the inside of that one. No, none of these have been used at all. They're all unused. I mean, a few of them have some minor condition issues, but yeah, none of them were ever signed or anything. They all like I had, as I was mentioning, I had several hundred of these to start with, and I've been kind of going through them, and they were just all in this huge box. And I don't know if they collected them or they worked for a company, back when these were first coming out, but they are different companies. So, and here's wedding congratulations, and that's the last one. So you got this whole stack here, just starting at $3 for, I think they were actually 21, but I put 20, so you'll get at least 20. And we'll just do 15 seconds, and that's running. So just kind of show them as it runs. A lot of good graphics on these. Thank you, Dry Creek, for the bid. All right, good deal. Good get on those. And you unlock bronze. Hey, BTG Pill, part closed. Thanks for coming in. Let me just reach back here and grab the next thing. Lot 39. Looks like I still have no pre-bids. Well, if I can type. Let's see. 39. Let me get this one pinned. Hey, Stamp Man. Thanks for coming in. I just got two stamp albums today that somebody brought to me. They're world stamp albums, and they're not very full, so I don't think there's much to them, but I told them I'd look at them. So here's a playbill from 1960, and it's got Miss Betty White on the cover. And she was in Who Was That Lady I Saw You With? And this was the Northland Playhouse in Detroit, Michigan. So there's the front with a young Betty White. There's that. And if we look through it, I know I think it was James Garner. Yeah, so here's James Garner was in there. Got a Coca-Cola ad. Let's see what else was in here. Then, I guess here's other people who are coming to the Playhouse there. And interestingly enough, this one starred Betty White and Fred Gwynne. Who knows who Fred Gwynne, what show he was famous for? Trivia question of the day. So, all right, so we'll go ahead and start this. It is a $3 start and 15 seconds, and it's off and running. Looks like we don't have any huge Betty White fans in here. It'll just be my second lot to go in the box of shame down here, so. All right, does anybody have any requests for anything in the catalog or anything you want me to show? Take a quick look, and we can go back to postcards if y'all want, or I can run some stuff. Tell you what, let me just go ahead and clear the table back here. So let's do lot 43. And it's just a little souvenir coin, so like a reproduction, I guess, of an old Chinese coin, and it's from the China Summer Palace, which I guess must be a tourist destination in China. I found some others that said like it was a coin inside a ticket, so I don't know if this also served as a ticket of some sort, But in any case, I don't read Chinese, but you can see this must be a map of the palace, or the um, the summer palace. So this will be a $3 start. Let's go ahead and run that auction, and it's off and running for the souvenir coin from the China Summer Palace. Anybody have any fun plans for the weekend? I will be parked. Well, tonight I'm going to watch basketball, starting with the Tennessee-Kentucky game, and then past that, tomorrow I've got to work at my antique mall all day, and then Sunday I'm doing the same thing. All right, let's do lot 44. Hey, Package Style, thanks for coming in. So this is going to be 6 antique photos on board. Thanks to everybody who's been sticking with me now for almost 2 hours. So this one is identified on the back. I think it says Maddie Hill. So Miss Maddie Hill there with her hat on. Then we have these two fellas here with their hats and ties, and this says George and Bob Hill, about 1902. So you got that one. You can see there is a little wear along the edges there. Then we have this baby, and this one says Miss. It's written in blue pen on this, and it's really hard to see, but if you win, she is identified on the back, but there's the picture. Hey, Cindy 47. Then we have this couple with, I guess, their daughter, and it is also identified. It says Uncle Jim. I can't read the rest of it. It's just the blue ink on this is hard to read, and as you get to be older like me, your eyesight starts to go. Here's another couple with their kid, and this one says Houston Birchfield and wife Molly West Burlington and first child. And he sang, I think it says he sang. I don't know. Oh, no, wait. I can't read it. But that's on there. So you got them. And then finally, I love this picture here. It looks like a bunch of teachers probably. Unfortunately, the board itself has quite a bit of wear. You have a crease here that does go through to the picture. Got some staining on the back of the board. But overall, the picture itself is not in too bad a shape, other than the crease that runs right here. But you can see it looks like they're standing in front of an old schoolhouse, and must be like a group photo of the teachers. So run all 6 of these for just a $3 start, and that's running 15 seconds. So you got her. Thank you, A Bunny. You got the family there. All right, congratulations. That will be coming your way. All right, I'll tell you what, let's switch back over to some postcards now. So let me flip the camera back around. Y'all are probably tired of looking at me anyway. Get my sticky notes back out there. Oh, let me get a drink of water. Hey, One Nerdy Llama, thanks for coming in. If you see anything in the catalog you want me to run, just put the lot number in the chat or pre-bid on it, and I can get to it once we do a few more postcards. And let me pull a stack here. All right, so for anybody who wasn't in here, I'm going to do 2 stacks of around 10 postcards. And Then start the auction. Continue to throw postcards down till the timer ends, and whoever wins can pick stack 1 or 2. All right, here's the casino in Adirondack Mountains, New York. That's from 1913, I think. Here is the Amstel Hotel in Amsterdam. Here's also the Amstel Hotel in Amsterdam, so we'll keep those two together. Here's another one of these postcards. We'll just throw it in too as well. Oh, this one is awesome here. So this one says Big Game South Africa. I mean, let's see, we got buffalo, hunting game, wild hog, and wildebeest. It's not awesome for the animals, but they're still interesting images. So that one's going to go in 1. Oh, it does have, if you look, it does have some little chippiness along the edge there. Then we have Elephant's Head in Ozable Chasm, New York. Then we have Boston Public Library, Copley Square. That one's a Tux postcard. Then we have the State House in Boston. Copyright 1899 by Detroit Photographic Company. So that one, 1899 postcard. This one looks the same. Yeah, so take one. I'm going to keep these together too because they're all from that same series. So all these, there's another Boston one. And then here's another Boston one. Maybe they're all Boston. Washington statue. And then this one is Cambridge, Massachusetts. That's Longfellow's house. So I'll put some more in one after I get through these. Here's South Terminal Station in Boston. All right, so that's all those. So those kind of went together. Here's a little, is it a menu? Oh, yeah. So it's a not even really, well, yeah, it is. So it's a postcard / menu, but it has the luncheon menu for the Maplewood Hotel in Maplewood, New Hampshire. The luncheon menu, you could get puree of split peas, mixed pickles, pickled beets, broiled chicken halibut. When the heck's chicken halibut? Is it halibut or is it chicken? Here's Irish stew with dumplings, roast sirloin of beef, sponge pudding, chicken mayonnaise. Tastes like chicken, yeah. Oh, hey, David. Yeah, everybody make sure you're following Papergoy as well. He does shows. I don't know. Put in when your next show is. And then he's also has a YouTube channel as well. And we've had him and his partner, the Million Dollar Mr. Magazine. He's the $1 Million Peddler, as on our podcast before. Right, let me get a few more out there and then we'll start the auction next Wednesday at 4 p.m. So make sure you go out and check his shows out. And anybody else, hey, Thrifty Dots and Mom, another seller here on the platform. Anybody's got shows, always feel free to put your shows in the chat. I have no issue with that at all. Oh, this one's cool. It's Greenwich Village. So it's a real photo of the street, the 3 ends in Greenwich Village, New York. And this is a Velox real photo postcard. I've lost count completely. Let me put one more in 2 and then we'll go ahead and start it. Here's Edinburgh. All right, so let me get the next one ready. Oh, cool. So everybody check A Bunny's Vintage Co. out. They have a paper show tomorrow. The ephemera community here on Whatnot, so awesome. I mean, I've been selling here for, what was it, 3 or 4 years? I can't remember. I used to do the paper events with Penguin Boss, and then I retired and turned that over to Schmidt Auctions, and they've taken it to such another level that it was at when I was involved. So anyway, well, congratulations. We have a new grandson. Our kids are all grown. My kids are 23 to 28. My oldest and young, I have 4 kids. Oldest and youngest have the same birthday. So there's exactly 5 years to the day between our oldest and youngest. And they're all out of the house. And one's married and has a baby. They live in Houston, which that's the only bad thing because they live so far from us. Although they were here last weekend, and then she'll be back in a week and a half, I think, again for a bachelorette party. But yeah, then I have a daughter getting married the first weekend in May, and she lives here. So there is hope we'll have grandkids here in Knoxville at some point. And then my son lives in Nashville, and he does have a girlfriend. So who knows? Maybe they'll get married one day. And then my youngest daughter also lives here, and she lives in Oak Ridge, but pretty much Knoxville. So, all right, let's see. Let me go ahead and run this. I do not want to run next, though. Let me pin the dreaded run next. Gets you in trouble sometime. All right, so let me start this. We're going to do 45 seconds. And for anybody who hasn't been in here, I'm going to keep throwing postcards down till the timer ends, and you can pick either stack 1 or stack 2. So it is running. Here's the Country Club in Evanston, Illinois, 1911. Ooh, the colors on this are really good. It's a foreign postcard of some sort. Here is the Country Club somewhere. It does have some chippiness there. I heard somebody say chippiness in a show the other day, so I guess that's now the word I'm going to use. So, Old Stone Mill in Rockville, Connecticut. Here is Moosehead Lake in Maine, 1917. Here's the bridge between Holderness and Plymouth, New Hampshire, 1917. Here is Rockville, Connecticut. Don't go back to Rockville, is REM what it's saying. And Stock Diva took that. This one will be in number 2. So 1 or 2. Wow, 6 grandkids. Number 1. Yeah, so my parents have 10 grandkids, I think it is. Let me find your stack, Stock Diva. There it is. And then we just have 1 for now. So yeah, my parents have 10 grandkids and 2 great grandkids. One of my brothers has a son who's married and has a kid as well. So yeah, we're looking forward to getting like one here that we can see all the time. But yeah, our grandson's something else. I mean, they were here for 4 days, Thursday to a Monday. So I guess that's 4 days. And the kid cried like for a total of like 2 minutes while he was here the whole time. And it didn't matter who was holding him or anything. I told my daughter, because I said, well, he did not get that from you, because all she did was cry. But anyway. All right, let's fill stack 1 again. Here's with loving Easter greetings. Nice and embossed there. Looks like we're into a few holiday cards here. Christmas blessings, a Tux Christmas card. Nice and embossed as well. Yeah, and for people who haven't been in here, all these postcards came out of an old farmhouse here in East Tennessee. So I think they have some more, and I've been trying to get them to sell me the rest of them, but so far they've wanted to hang on to them. But in any case, maybe one day I'll get some more from them. I did pick up some really good ephemera today that I'll be going through for my next couple of shows. So make sure you bookmark. I think I got shows scheduled out for the next 3 weeks after this. And then that'll about take me to the wedding. So I'll have to take a break for a week or 2 then. But anyway, yeah, have some really cool stuff coming up. Here's another Easter postcard from 1919. Here's a Thanksgiving Day greeting with some corn on it. Hooray for the fun, is the pudding done? Hooray for the pumpkin pie. 1916. And here's a Christmas greeting one here. 1911, embossed. Here is an Easter greetings one with the chicks and the cross. Also embossed. 1909. And then with best wishes for a happy birthday. Yeah, and the other thing I've mentioned a couple of times for people who haven't been in here, these postcards were literally in no order whatsoever. I had about 16 boxes to start with, plus probably 8 albums. And the albums were, I mean, they were so cool for any of you who've been in the shows where I ran those. But yeah, you go from box to box and stack to stack, and you never know what you're going to find. This one does have some staining along the edge here, but it's a Tux from 1908. Well, let me see how many more holidays we got here. 1908, to my sweetheart. Hey, worn a bit vintage. And then here's Christmas greetings. That's a International Art Publishing Company, 1908. All right, I think that's good. So let me go ahead and run next. And winner will get your choice of stack 1 or stack 2, and it is running. Here is an Easter one, 1909. And then here's a Happy New Year one from 1908. Here's another Christmas one. Another tux. It does have a little bit of a bend. Not really a crease, but just a bend. Here's a To My Valentine. These must have been together in the box because they have that same little bend. Then there's Easter Greetings. That one's got a little chip out of the edge there. Then here's another Easter Greetings, 1907. That one's a tux card. Here's Yuletide Greeting. A lot of holiday ones here. Happy New Year. Another tux. This one does have a stain, but it's a dog and a lady. Yeah, all these have that little bend. You could probably flatten them out because they're not creased at all. 1909. Here's Fond Christmas Greetings. Oops. And then here's Had Lots of Fun in All These Towns. Yes, many are bliss, but our old town beats all of them. Beat this and this and this. Got all the ladies with the dresses on there. All right, Mo Rancher. This one's got the devil on it. It says Go to Father. So let me put one in stack 1 and then one in stack 2 for you. And stack 1 or stack 2? Let me write your name down. Number 2. Hey, thanks for sharing, Warren, a bit. I'll just keep doing the postcards for now until somebody says they want me to run something in the catalog. Otherwise, I'm going to try to get through as many of these postcards as I can today. I've been trying to close the book on these things for a while, and they just keep coming. All right, so for stack number 2 now, we need some more. So we'll put U.S. Post Office at Night in Huntington, West Virginia. This one does have a crease in it, so I'm just going to throw it down. It's a tux, but unfortunately creased. Here's Friars Crag and Causey Pikes. That one's also a tux. It looks like maybe it was in a scrapbook. It's one of the oilettes. I guess that last one was too. Here's another tux oilette, it looks like. Looks like we're into a run of these oilettes, so we'll just get through all of them and then we'll start it. Well, actually, there's just one more. So here's the Highlands, another tux oilette postcard. So let me put a few more in there. Here's Camp Snapshots. So a military humor card there. Here's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Unfortunately, looks like maybe had some tape or something got pulled there, but got the Seven Dwarfs Visit Disneyland. And here's another Disney one. The Pooh characters. And then here's a Mickey Mouse. All right, so let me go ahead and start it, and we'll start building the stacks again. Lot 4. Let's see. Let me see what that is real quick. Yeah, I'll tell you what. Let me run this one more time, then we'll do lot 4. All right, so we'll do this postcard lot, and then we will do lot 4. Then we'll come back to postcards again. All right, we're going to run next, and it's off and running. This is Portsmouth, New Hampshire, undivided back. And then there's Madonna. Looks like an Italian postcard, maybe. Tell you what, these, I'm going to show them real quick because they all seem to go together. So I'm just going to get those on stack 2. But yeah, they're all the same, like Cartolina looking series. So keep those together. All right, so that gets us past that. So this is Richmond, Virginia. Here's a royal family. Looks like the Queen there. Royal family 1982, so a little newer. Here's an older royal family, a royal family group picture. 19, not sure the date on that one. I'll tell you what, I'll keep these royal family ones together too. So there's another Princess Margaret. It says it's a real photograph. Here's the royal wedding. Keep that one there. So I got several of these. Maybe if y'all keep bidding, I can get them all on the stack here. All right. Actually, that was perfect timing, bunnies, because that was the last one. So, stack one or two. Number one. And we'll leave two out there and come back to it here in just a second. So, a Bunny Vintage Company. I'll stick these with yours. All right. So, tell you what, let me just move these back. And put these here. And let me find lot number 4. Let me go ahead and pin it first. Let's see, this one should not be too hard to find since it was just miscellaneous stuff. I would say I'm semi-organized today. Some days I'm more organized than others. It has to be. Where is it? There it is. I knew it had to be easy to find. All right, so lot 4 right here. Let's see what all we got. So this is another ephemera lot, or ephemera starter pack, if you will. That's what I think I called the last one that we sold. Let me move these up a little more. All right. So we have a take a peek and see who's here. We've had a visit from the stork. Laura Litton weighed 6 pounds 10 ounces, and it was Allie and Bud, September 7th. It doesn't have a date on it, but then we have a Hotel Lusenhof Cafe. It looks like maybe a bill or something. Oh, and it's got the VW on the back. That's pretty cool. Here's another Baby is Here card. Here's so gut mit der words I am not. So gut mit with words I am not. That's like me. But here in mein heart, ach, I like you a lot. I'm sure I butchered that German, but here's somebody's calling card, George F. Burkhart. And here's a party invitation, 1933. Little die cut. Does it have anything? No, just. Then here's another, please come to my birthday party. It does not have a year on this one. Then here's another, please come to my party. Well, for these all the same. No, they're different addresses, so I guess it's different people. And then here's Rose Marie Barbara, born in 1947 at Wyckoff Heights Hospital in Ridgewood, New York. Hey, MQC, thanks for coming in. Anybody else I've missed? There's another calling card. Frank Hartzell, I think it says. Well, it says photographs in color, but it's just the envelope. It was Walgreens, your photo headquarters. I mean, photos used to be so cheap to get developed. Now, if you find a roll of film and have to get it developed, it's really expensive. I remember back in the old days, you would be digging through a drawer and find a roll of film. You're like, I wonder what this is from. And you'd go get it developed and be surprised. It's so different now with digital cameras. But here's Tickle Pink Motor Inn, just a brochure or postcard, I guess it is. Then here's a map from the scenic route between the Midwest and Florida, US 441, the Uncle Remus route. I just sold an Uncle Remus book in one of my booths. Here's thinking of you every day of the week. And here's another card for your birthday. Both those were unused. Here's happy birthday. Just an old-fashioned greeting to say. Made in the USA there. Here's a Lufthansa Air brochure, I guess. It's a map. I guess it's a route map. List all the different places they fly. I don't know if that had a date on it. Maps hardly ever have dates. Here's the Confederama. I think that's in Chattanooga, if I remember correctly. Yep. Then there's a picture frame. I don't know what happened to the picture. And then finally, this week in the land of the Smokies and the Southern Highlands. So this is from my backyard. I live really close to Gatlinburg. Well, an hour, I guess, kind of close. Yeah, and there's beautiful Rock City and Chattanooga, Gatlinburg and the Smokies. Cherokee, they must have gone to Cherokee because they put a check mark there. All right, so this whole lot of stuff, and we're running it. We do not need to run for 45 seconds. We'll do 15 seconds, and it is running. So just kind of go back through it again real quick while that runs. Maps, a bunch of cards, the Uncle Remus route, more cards. Congratulations, M. Nance. Thank you for the bid. All right, and I don't think I have any more requests. Let me just make sure I don't have any pre-bids. No pre-bids or requests. So, yeah, so if anybody sees anything in the catalog they want me to run, just put the lot number in the chat. Otherwise, we'll go back to postcards now. Like I said, I need to get through all these postcards. I mean, I can finally truly say I can see the light at the end of the tunnel because I don't have 16 boxes anymore, but all right. So we need to build up stack one here. Here's the residence of Senator Henry Cabot Lodge in Massachusetts. Here is the Springfield State Armory in Springfield, Massachusetts. Then here's the Cadet Armory in Salem, Massachusetts. I'm not sure what that is. Oh, Union Station in Worcester, Massachusetts, I think. And then there's South Terminal in Boston, Massachusetts, 1906. And then there's Boston, Massachusetts Parker House. This one's 1910. I'm not sure, maybe, not sure where that is. There's the North Station in Boston, Massachusetts. Then here's Symphony Hall in Boston. And then Old South Church in Boston. So we're going to run a Boston here. So I'm going to get through all these so we can keep them together. Another Boston. The post office in Boston. And this one's Massachusetts as well. So Salem, Massachusetts, the old witch house. 1918, I think that one says. All right, let me go ahead and get it started. So for anybody who's just coming in, I'm going to run the auction for 45 seconds, and whoever wins can choose stack 1 or 2. And I will keep putting postcards down as long as the time's going. So let's go ahead. Whoops, I need to pin the postcard lot again. And let me start auction, 45 seconds. $3 start, and it's off. Here we go. Portland, Maine there, undivided back. Have Salem, Massachusetts, House of the Seven Gables. Here's a chrome of Holden Beach, North Carolina. I went there on my honeymoon. Then we have the old John Ward House in Salem, Massachusetts. Then the Deer Park Hotel in Deer Park, Maryland, 1931. Then we have the train postcard there. Here's another train postcard, so we'll keep that one with that. Then here's the depot in Bellows Falls, Vermont. Then we have some wild animals. So these are like newer, and they're kind of thin, but they are postcards. So I'll just put all those together in stack 2. All right, and then we have, sorry about that, the Lost Sea Waterfall. That's right down the road from me in Sweetwater, Tennessee. And then whatever this one is. That one is Hot Springs National Park in Arkansas, and that'll go in 2. So Stock Diva 1 or 2, and you unlock Platinum. Congratulations. I think you get a pretty good, like 20% off or something with with uh, with Platinum. So congratulations on that. Stack 2. Put that with your stuff. All right, so let's go ahead and build back up number 2 here. And this is Concord, New Hampshire. It does have a chip out of the corner, undivided back 1906. Then we get into some, well, we have a foreign postcard here. Just one. And then we have Pine Lakes Inn in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And here's Pinehurst, North Carolina, Holly Inn, 1921. Here's a chrome of something, Laurel Park Lake, wherever that happens to be. Here's another chrome. Let's see, that one is Breakfast in the Open, some lake somewhere. Another lake. Looks like we're into like a lot of chrome lakes, so we'll just get all those. This one's messed up, but I'll throw it in. Here's another one. Lake Minnewaska. Lake Mohawk Mountain. Lake Minnewaska. And then Lake George. And then there's another Lake George, 1926. So that one's older. Then I'm going to do this last chrome one in there, the Corning Glass Center in Corning, New York. All right, let me go ahead and start it, and we will start putting them down. And that is running. So here's Frederick, New York, 1940 something. Here is Vista House, Columbia River Highway, 1955, I think it says. There's another 1917, I think it says. Here's Public Library in Binghamton, New York. Here's a Northwest Airlines, 1955. Some type of real photo type postcard there. Here's the Roosevelt Grill in New York, 1949. Here's the Hotel Pennsylvania, 1930. And there's that one. Let me put one more in this. Here's the Metropolitan Life Building. Oh, and you also unlock Platinum. Congratulations. 2 Platinum members in just a short time. Let's see. Stack 1, and that was A Bunny. All right, here's the Equitable Building in New York City. Here's the Bowery in New York City. So what time is it? 3:37. I'm doing good on time. Just want to be finished no later than 4:30 or 5. So here's the Museum of Natural History in New York, 1912. Here's the Chamber of Commerce in New York. So a lot of New York postcards, 1909. Here's the Three Crowns Restaurant in New York, 1962. So that one's a little newer. This one is the Tower at Night in London. What was the U.S. Iraq 2 available? What is that? I'm not sure I understand what you're asking there, Windy Man. And let's see, here's 1931, the Empire State Building. Oh, it's stack 2. Yes, so if you win, you can choose stack 1 or stack 2. So, got it. And then there is Greetings from Avalon, New Jersey. Yeah, well, I'm the worst at typing, so. And then if then you throw autocorrect into that, you never know what you'll come out with. Oh, I'm sitting there alternating, and I haven't even started it yet. So let me just throw a few more down, then we'll start the auction. Tell you what, all these look like chrome, so I'll just put all them in stack 1, and then we'll start it. That one is Richmond and Natchez, Mississippi. All right, so there's stack one. There's stack two. Let me grab some more. So I got plenty to go through. I mean, you would think. I mean, I look back at this box. It does look emptier than when I started, but not substantially so. One day I'll make it through all of them. All right. And these must be the rest of those that had a little bend to them. So I'm not going to say this on every card, but I'll tell you when we get out of those. But it was these holiday cards. It's not creased, so you might can flatten it out. But if you can see that, it's got a little bend in the corner. So just wanted to point that out. So we're going to run next. And for anybody just coming in, if you win, you can either pick stack one or stack two. And I will keep putting cards down until the timer runs out. And here we go. So this is Welcome Easter Morning, 1909. Here's Bright Be Your Easter. Tell you what, I'm going to keep these Easter ones together. A Happy Easter to You, 1908. Glad Easter Greetings. That one looks like maybe it's been in a scrapbook, and it is a Tux postcard. All right, here's a Thanksgiving Day. So that one's another Tux. And then here's a Happy New Year. That's also a Tux. Tell you what, I'll put him there. Here's a Happy Easter. So we'll keep another Tux. It's got a little chip in the corner. Here's another Easter. So we'll make this the Easter heavy one over here. And then here's a Valentine's one with love. And Windy Man. Stack one or stack two? Stack two. I kind of thought that since you had asked about it, but still wanted to make sure. Yeah, I'll do like 34. Tell you what, let me do one more of these, and then I'll get lot 34 out. All right, so for stack two, we have 1905, I think, or 1906. It's either 1905 or 1906. Flower postcard. Then the cool Statue of Liberty postcard. Does have a little chippiness in the corner there. A little dust, too. As I mentioned, these were in a farmhouse, so. Here's Greetings from Casco Bray, Oars Island Bridge. Also a little chippiness there. We're in a little section that seems to be a little chippier than a lot of the ones we've been running. Here's the group of the Royal Family of Europe, now at war, a family quarrel. That's funny. There's another one of those. Here's a real photo postcard. Senior class high school. Kentucky, I think. Middlesboro, Kentucky is where that is. That one's an Azo postcard, and it looks like all four of the triangles are up in the corner, which I think dates it from like 1904 to 1918, if I'm correct. Here is E.P. Harbor Evangelist, Pennington Gap, Virginia. Some of the subjects to be preached on by a man who has read through the New Testament 35 times. My goodness. Where are the dead? If a man die, shall he live again? So he's obviously an expert. He's read the New Testament 35 times. Here is Wells Cathedral, West Front, a Frith series. Does look like maybe it was in a scrapbook or something. And then here is the Carnation, 1967. Hey, this postcard's exactly as old. Well, let's see. This postcard is 2 months older than me. So, what's funny? So you hear this? Are you okay? Just a little quick diversion. Are y'all like me? So I see stuff from the 60s, and I think, that's not really that old because I was born in the 60s. But now people say stuff from the 80s is old, and that's just not right. But anyway, I digress. I do not think of the 80s as being vintage by any means. That was definitely like the prime of my life. So here is Union Station in Springfield, Massachusetts. Let me get a couple more down and then we'll start it. Here's Cutler's Seaview House in Hamilton Beach, New Hampshire. And let me write lot 34 down so I don't forget. 34. And then here's entrance to French Canyon, Starved Rock State Park, Illinois. All right, I think that's a good place to stop, and we'll. All right, here we go. We're going to run next. And for anybody just coming in, if you win, you can choose stack 1 or stack 2, and I will continue to put cards down until the timer ends. So here we go. Here's Art Museum in Detroit, Michigan. Well housed taters. Here's Niagara Falls in winter. Undivided back. Here's the entrance to the Indiana prison. I think it said 1910. Lee Library in Lee, Massachusetts. There is Storm Scene in Connecticut somewhere. Here's Holiday Greetings, 1926. Here's a Paris postcard. It does have a little chip out of the corner there. Then here is some foreign postcard, but it's got some dead people in it there. And we'll put that in stack 2. Stock Diva, dead person stack or the cathedral stack there? Number 2, dead person stack. Let's see, Stock Diva. All right, so let me move these out of the way so we can run lot 34. Let's see, that was. I'll just put those there. Hey, Desiree. Let's see, we're getting ready to run 34. Let me see what that is. That is the envelopes. Let me see. Where might that be? It should be right here. There we go. Let me pin this. Thanks for the bids, everyone, on the last lot. All right, so these, I am doing very well. Getting ready to watch some basketball tonight. So I'm nervous and excited at the same time because I'm a big Tennessee fan and we play Kentucky. I know Mo Rancher said he was a Kentucky fan. I don't know if we have any other Kentucky fans in here, but I'm hoping we beat y'all. So, all right, here's a 1988 anniversary envelope. It's got the Gettysburg and other Lincoln stamp on it. Looks like there is maybe some information on the inside about it. I'm not going to take it out, but there is some kind of typed information in there. Then we have Aliquippa PA stamp. This is just an airmail stamp with the V Win the War. And for the most part, other than that one, it did have something in it. They're mostly just empty envelopes. Here's a July 1971 commemorative first day of issue for this pre-stamped envelope inaugurating the U.S. Postal Service. There's 2 of those. Here's a Gene S. Allen, The Handy House in Aliquippa, Pennsylvania. Just like a pre-printed envelope. Here's one with the 6-cent airmail stamp from 1945, and it's a U.S. Navy cancellation. And it passed the naval censor, thank goodness. Here's another one. Wonder if this must have been, yeah, so this one was going to Emil, and this one's from Emil. Then we have a Mars Area Centennial, Mars, Butler County, Pennsylvania. And you have the postal stamp on there. Then there's a Nevada Centennial, the Battle-Born State, 1964. Then we have a Give Me Liberty or Give Me Death stamp, 1961. And then I thought this was cool. So this was the solar eclipse in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. And I actually watched the solar eclipse in Oak Ridge. We watched it at Mountain Hill Lake back in 2017. We had our fancy eclipse glasses on and everything. So here's Monica Sesquicentennial in Monica, Pennsylvania. And there's 2 of those. And then finally, here's a boat building, Freedom, Pennsylvania. There's a lot going on this envelope. So But anyway, got the cool postmark there. So you're getting that whole stack of envelopes. And I may put some first aid covers in my next show too. Um, Face It Tiger, not in this show. I don't. Actually, do I have any? Look in my. There might be some popular science or popular mechanics in the Buy It Now. I can't remember. I mean, I have so many of those from like the 40s and 50s, but I don't. I know I don't have any detective. I used to have a bunch of sci-fi, but I sold them all, and I don't have any pinup right now. I don't think so. Anyway, thanks for asking. Yeah, I did not graduate from UT Knoxville, but I grew up here. I went to Tennessee Tech just because I wanted to not go so close to home. But I've been a huge UT fan my whole life. So, and I did have, we couldn't get any of our kids to go to UT for undergrad. I had my oldest daughter went to College of Charleston, my second daughter went to Ole Miss, and my youngest two both went to Alabama, which was painful for me, but they gave really good scholarships. So my loyalty can somewhat be bought. But then my son did get his master's in accounting from UT. So he bought me a UT Dad t shirt and said, I know you've been waiting a long time for this. So, all right, I've spoken enough. Let me get the auction started. So, $3 start on these. We do not need to do 45 seconds. We'll do 15, and that is running. And thanks for your patience, M. Nance, while I ran through those postcards. And yeah, for anybody who wasn't here when I said it earlier, this stuff will ship out no later than Monday. Um, Seems like most weeks I say that and I actually ship them out on Saturday, but I don't see that happening this week because of the ball game tonight. And then I have to work at my antique mall tomorrow. So thank you, M. Nance. Let me know if you see anything else you want me to run. And let's get back to the postcards. Oh, lot 7. I can do lot 7. Let me check and make sure I don't have any pre-bids either. Nope, no pre-bid. Oh, I do have a pre-bid. That's on lot 7, so maybe it's you. But okay, let me find lot 7. Let's see, that's the placemats and the napkins. Yeah, who knows? Um, you know, I mean, I'm just glad, my kids were able to go to where they wanted because they all got good scholarships. Like, our deal with them was, we would pay for room and board, but any tuition was their responsibility, whether that be through scholarships or loans. And for the most part, they got it all covered by scholarships. In fact, my second daughter, she got money back every semester from Ole Miss. So she did really well with the scholarship money. Let's see, lot 7 is what I'm looking for. But it's funny because like everybody would always ask us, how could you afford to send 4 kids out of state? And to be honest, they went out of state cheaper than we could have sent them to UT. Because UT is just not that generous with in-state students. Like Alabama was especially generous. And I mean, I was, as much as I hate Alabama in sports, I mean, I was so impressed with Alabama, like just the way they, I mean, for lack of a better term, recruited my kids for academics. I mean, it wasn't like they, like we're sending people up here to meet them in our house or anything like you would with athletes, but we were able to set up some private tours of the campus through the East Tennessee Alumni Association. And I mean, and they treated them just like they were recruiting athletes when they went down for those visits. And like my oldest daughter, I mean, like Alabama was her second choice. She's the one who ended up going to College of Charleston, but we visited so many colleges with our oldest daughter. It's kind of, I guess, I mean, our oldest daughter we kind of did this whole tour through North Carolina and South Carolina and did, I don't even remember all the places we visited. Pretty much any college that's, off 40 all the way to you got to Myrtle Beach and then on to Charleston. I know we did like UNC Wilmington and Coastal Carolina and College of Charleston and Duke and seems like maybe some of the others around Spartanburg. But in any case, all that time was fun. Seems like so long ago now. All right, I did pin this. So, okay, so this is just a vintage napkin plus 2 vintage 1950s placemats. So This is Mickey's Coral Bar and Grill in South Pasadena, Florida. And it does have a little bit of staining. I don't know if they used it or if it's just, staining from being stored and stuff. But as you can see there. And then the two placemats. And these bring back memories of when I was a kid, because I can remember going to restaurants like in Florida when we'd vacation there, and you'd always get these placemats. So here's the Florida placemat. It's got a map of the state on there. And then the other one is, was it Germany? Yeah, Germany. So I don't know if they actually, probably just either a German restaurant or just they had themed, maps or placemats. I mean, who remembers going to restaurants when they were a kid? And like my wife makes so much fun of me for this, but I collected everything when I was growing up, including sugar packets. Now if you go to a restaurant, they have three sugar packets. They've got the pink, the blue, and then the white for sugar. I mean, back in the day, it was like matchbooks. They had everything on sugar packets. You could get presidents, you could get birds, you could get this, you could get that. And me being the nerd that I was, I collected them. I collected matchbooks, postcards, um, sugar packets, stamps, coins, baseball cards, pretty much any sports cards. I mean, that was what I collected the most. But in any case, yeah, y'all have me talking today, so I'm gonna have to get some water here in a second. Reminiscing about the good old days. All right, here we go. We're going to start this now. $3 start, 15 seconds, and that is running. Thank you, Wendy, man. So you had the Florida placemat, the Germany placemat, and the rooster napkin from Mickey's Coral Bar and Grill. Does anybody know if that's even still there? Anybody? Where is South Pasadena, Florida? Anybody know? Oh, I knew there was it says somebody wrote 1959 on that one. Yeah, things are boring now. I mean, if you collected sugar packets, you could get your red, your blue, and your pink, and you'd be finished. You would have completed your collection. But it was a never-ending search back in the day because you never knew what you would find. All right, let me get a drink of water, and then we will pull the postcards back unless anybody has another request for something out of the catalog. And remember, too, the Buy It Now stuff. I do take offers on the Buy It Now stuff, and that also is included in the $9.22 shipping. I know if you like costume jewelry, I got some like vintage and antique costume jewelry out there. I don't know if anybody likes the vintage shirts. Check out the auction. I do have those vintage 1970s polyester and Orlon t-shirts. They're like, I had like hundreds of these. I cleaned out a warehouse one time, and these are like, I thought I was out of them, but I found a box in the garage and had a few more. Most of the time I sold on my antique booths, and they like sold really well, but I thought, I'll see if anybody on Whatnot likes these. So yeah, they were squirreled away in a box in my garage. So all right, we'll go back to postcards now. Let's see. Yeah, so for anybody who wasn't in here, there's going to be 2 stacks of postcards out there, and if you win, you can choose which one you get. And we'll run the auction for 45 seconds, and I'll just throw postcards down till it finishes. But I always start with putting some out there to begin with. So we need a build-up stack 2, and we have, looks like a French postcard. It's green on the back. Then we have Palermo, so I guess that's Italy. So it looks like we got a little run of foreign postcards. Oh, thanks for the offer. Let me check that out real quick. I accept your offer, Wendy, man. Thank you for that. So that will go out with your other stuff that you won today. Thank you so much for the purchase. That was in that silver, that ornament you bought was in the lot of costume jewelry that I found a couple of days ago. There was some really cool stuff in there. Here's some kind of cathedral in France. I can tell I've been on this now for like almost 3 hours because my tongue's starting to get tired. I don't see how the people do it who go for like 7 and 8 hours straight. I mean, my back starts hurting. I guess I'm old enough that I feel like I've run a marathon, by the time I finish these shows. Um, so yeah, I can't do the really, really long shows. 3 or 4 hours is about my tops. Here's the Queen Matilda tapestry. And then here's Edinburgh Castle. Here's Warwick Castle. This is a spooky place, somebody wrote and it looks spooky. Here's Conway Castle. So we're into some castle cards. Here's Edinburgh Castle. This is like really messed up, but I'll just throw it in. We won't even bother with what it was. Here's Hotel Arcadia and Beach at Santa Monica, California. That's one of the private mailing cards, so I think that goes back to the late 1800s. Here's the Methodist Episcopal Church. We'll get a few more in there, and then we'll start it. Some kind of foreign postcard. And then here's Westminster Abbey. Let me put one more, and then we'll get it started. Here's Toothache and Man drawing thorn from foot. All right, let me grab some more cards out of the book. I do not have any bank ledgers in today's show. I went to an estate sale this morning. I got excited because I thought I'd found a bunch of bank ledgers, but they were actually ledgers that somebody used to take notes in the 40s for a legal class they were in. I told my wife to go back tomorrow, and if they were half price to get them, if they're still there. So I might have something like that in the coming weeks. But I did come across ledgers occasionally. Yeah, they were pretty cool. I just, for what they were charging, I couldn't really justify buying them all. I bought one just to see if, there would be any interest in a show at some point. But yeah, if they're still there tomorrow, my wife may get the rest of them. Yeah, this estate sale I went to, it was in my neighborhood, and they must have been a lawyer, and they had a lot of really cool, like legal stuff, books, a lot of old antique legal books, which I bought some of those. I sell a ton of books on other platforms. I have some in my buy it now here, but for the most part, that's booths. Like one of my booths, I have a whole section I call my book nook, and I have hundreds and hundreds of books out there. All right, let me go ahead and run next. No, I do not want to run next. I need to pin the postcards. And now I can start auction. 45 seconds. $3 start. And just a reminder, you'll get to choose either stack 1 or stack 2 at the end. And I'm going to keep putting cards down until the timer is over. Thanks to everybody who stuck with me for the last almost 3 hours. Start auction, that is running. Here's Fort McKinley, 19 something, early 1900s anyway. Here's a real photo of Longhouse in Maranacook, Maine. Here is Halifax, Nova Scotia. Here is Bristol, Connecticut. 19, well, that one doesn't have a date either, but all those are early 1900s. Look at the lady standing in front of the tree. And posted, here's the state capitol in Pierre, South Dakota. I love all these moon cards. We've seen quite a few of those. That's Lake George, New York. V and Sons postcard. And then, not sure where that is. Here's the Conservatory in Detroit, Michigan. 1910. Here's the Great Falls of the Potomac, Virginia. 1911. Here's Seal Harbor, Maine. Let me put 1 and 1 and 1 and 2, and then you can tell me which stack you want. That one's Worcester, Massachusetts. So stack 1 or stack 2? Number 1. Let's see. Let me put that with your other postcards. All right, so let's build back up stack 1. This Bethesda Fountain in Central Park, New York City. You're welcome. 1909. Here's Old Covered Bridge in Massachusetts. That's 1911. Here's Houston, Texas, 1906. And then here is Houston, Texas, 1906 as well. Looks to be from the same series. Undivided back on both of those. Here's South Boston, Massachusetts, 1908. Here's Courthouse in Tacoma, Washington, 1905, undivided back. Here's another one of the nighttime scenes. Hotel Traymore in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Here's Washington Monument, Mount Vernon Place in Baltimore, Maryland, undivided back. This is Mount something Place Church. Here's North Hartford Road in South Manchester, Connecticut, undivided back. Here's the New York Central Railroad Station in Syracuse, 1911. Put a few more down. This one's Quebec, Canada. Here's an old mountain house in Elmira, New York. And one more, and then we'll get it started. Here's the Grand Union Hotel in Saratoga Springs, New York. I'm not sure. Early 1900s, though, on that one as well. All right, so let me go ahead and run next. And we are off. This is Gymnasium at Syracuse University. And there's Main Street in Massachusetts somewhere. There's some kind of palace or cathedral. There's Glasgow, Scotland. There's maybe somewhere in Italy, I believe. Here's St. John's Episcopal in Connecticut. Real photo. It does have a little bit of, like, you can feel some creasing in there. But an undivided back postcard. Then we have Ye Golden Spur Inn in East Lynne, Connecticut. Here's a Holyoke, Massachusetts, a railroad postcard or a trolley. I guess it's an incline, 1912. Then City Hall in Brockton, Massachusetts, 1909. Boston, Massachusetts Trinity Church, 1910. There's Market Square in Boston, 1909. And then we'll put one more in stack 2 as well. This is Montreal, the Royal Bank of Canada. All right, Stock Diva, which one? Number 1. Oops, sorry about that. Didn't mean to make everybody seasick. All right, let me put that in your stack. All right, stack 2 is getting pretty big. Somebody may put it out of their misery before long. Here's the stadium at the College of the City of New York. I can't see a date on it. This one's got quite a bit of wear, but it's Middlebury College in Middlebury, Vermont. You can see it's, I don't know if it was in a scrapbook or what. Here's Mount Killington Height in Rutland, Vermont. And then there's another Rutland, Vermont. This one does have a little chippiness across the top there. Here's some views of the Alps, I believe, with all the mountain peaks listed. My daughter's probably hiked to one of those peaks. Two of my daughters have done 2 huge hikes. They did the Tour de Mont Blanc that was in the Alps, like France, Italy, Switzerland. I can't remember all the countries they went to. And it was 103 miles over like 5 days. Then they did the Tour de Mont Blanc. No, that was the one. They also did the Camino de Santiago in Spain, which was 30. They did like 500 miles in 33 days or something. So there's the Mass General Store. I've been there before. There's Stern. I don't know. It's a foreign postcard. These look like Alps pictures. I'll tell you what. Let me get. Well, that may be the last one there. More mountain peaks in the Alps. And then we'll do one more. Then we'll get it started. Here's City Hall in St. Louis. That one's an undivided back from 1901. One of the older ones we've seen. Somebody did take the stamp off of that one. So, all right, let me get some more out of the box. So I got plenty to make it through. And for anybody just coming in, feel free to look in the catalog. And if there's anything you want me to run other than postcards, I'll be glad to do it. Otherwise, I'll probably just finish the show out with postcards. But yeah, I'll be glad to run anything that either gets a pre-bid or that somebody requests. So, all right, so 45 seconds on the clock. And we are running. All right, this is the ferry and railroad station in Michigan somewhere. Then here's City Hall in St. Louis. This one's got quite a bit of wear. It's an undivided back, though. I'm going to put another one in there for that one. Post office in Flint, Michigan. And then this one's undivided back from 1906. I'm not sure where it is. Oh, Boston, Massachusetts. Here's Kalamazoo, Michigan, the Elks Temple. Then here's the Red Room at Curse Theater in Boston. Here's a foreign postcard. Here's another Paris foreign. Tell you what, these all look like these foreign ones I'm going to keep together. All right, here's one Powerhouse and Dam in Dixon, Illinois. Here's looks like some kind of palace or something. And then here's Southland, Connecticut. Looks like a linen card, 1948. And there's the Eastern Star and Masonic Home in Rockford, Illinois. Here's another pair. Stock Diva won that one. Tell you what, we'll put that one in 2 because I think I had more like that. And then I'll go ahead and put, this one's similar too, but you'll have your choice of hallways with arches in it, 1 or 2. So it's number 1. Number 2 continues to grow. You're going to get good quantity for your money if somebody eventually picks number 2 anyway. All right, Stock Diva, let me put those with yours. All right, let's build back up 1. So this just says Canada postcard. I guess this is similar to the U.S. pre-stamped. Oh, this is the Patient Review, Ottawa, Ontario. Upon your returning this card in $1, you will receive the Patient Review for 1 year and a description of your patent number 23682 for a water wheel will be published in the next issue. That's cool. So I guess somebody submitted like a water wheel patent and they're going to publish it in this magazine. I have 0 patents to my name right now, so maybe one day I'll get one. Here's another cathedral-looking thing. Here's another foreign postcard. Bunch of people in it. Abbey, South something. Unposted. Oh, wow, look at that cathedral. Here's Brussels. And I'm not sure, maybe it's Italy somewhere. (1905) is the date written on there. Welcome in, Mary, Holly P, Taylor Shea, anybody else I've missed. I appreciate y'all stopping in. Doing postcards right now. I still have a bunch of stuff in the catalog if you want to look, and if you see any lots you want me to run, just put the lot number in the chat. This looks like maybe German. And then here's Versailles. Got a green back. Here's another Versailles. And then let me go ahead and tell you what, I'm going to put one of these in each stack because I got 2 of them. So you have, this is the Moonshine Still in Rock City Gardens at Lookout Mountain. Actually been there quite a few times. And we will also put one in stack 2. So no matter which stack you get a Moonshine Still postcard. All right, let me go ahead and run next. Actually, this one's got kind of a crease in it, so we're just going to throw it in there and then we'll start. All right, run next. 45 seconds on the clock. $3 start. Whoever wins can pick 1 or 2. And here we go. Here's the State Library in Concord, New Hampshire. There's November Skiing in New Hampshire. There's some kind of real photo postcard. It does have some staining on the back, but it looks like a school. I can't really read it. Here's Hampton Court Palace. That's a Tux Oilette postcard. Here's another real photo type postcard from England, I think, maybe. Let that one speak for itself. Here's the Great Hall, Hampton Court, real photo. Here is entrance gateway at Hampton Court Palace. And then here's Hollywood Palace. Wow, they wrote a lot of stuff on the back of that one. And then here's Falls and Mill in Newton Upper Falls, 1908. Park Street Church, Boston, Massachusetts. Then here's Main Street in Stafford Springs, Connecticut. Here's New Haven, Connecticut, 1909. Here's some kind of trap. The orchard, thank you, Stock Diva. The orchard, the meadow, the deep tangled wildweed in every love spot which my infancy knew. All right, one or two. Volume or quality? No. There's good stuff in stack 2. Somebody's going to pull the trigger on it before long because it's getting huge. Stack number, it's kind of like the jackpot on a slot machine. You know, you keep playing it because you think, oh, the jackpot's going to hit. Okay, let's see. Stack Diva, that goes in your stack. All right, let me grab some more postcards out. Yeah, so here's what we have in stack 2. So I don't know how many that is, but it's quite a few. And it's only going to grow. All right, here is the Museum of Antiquities in Golden Gate Park, San Francisco. This one does have some wear along the edges, but it's from 1910. Then we have Soldiers Monument, Methodist Episcopal Church in Derby, Connecticut. Undivided back. I think it's 1906. Then here's the Pilgrim's First Washing Day. Here's East Hampton, Connecticut. And here's, can't read where, Connecticut, I think, but I'm not 100% sure about that. Probably early 1900s on that one as well. Here's Grove Beach, Connecticut. Here's Clinton Beach in Clinton, Connecticut. Hadn't seen dates on any of the ones coming through, but I think they're all early 1900s. Here is Yale University, the Phelps Gate at Yale. This one does have a little bit of staining right there. 1906, undivided back. And then here's New Haven, Connecticut. Undivided back with the 1 cent Franklin stamp on it. Here's Point Lookout, Seaside Park, Bridgeport, Connecticut, 1910. Let me do like 2 more and then we'll get started. Here's this one's a Lennon, and this is the Overseas Highway to Key West, Florida, 1952. All right, let me go ahead and run next, and we're off and running. Here's Backbone of the Green Mountains. This one's been in a scrapbook. Here's a real photo postcard, Killington. It's an azo with 2 triangles up and 2 triangles down. So for those of you, you know how to date azo postcards. There you go. Here's a foreign postcard. Looks like they're playing tennis here. Here's another foreign postcard with a green back. Here's one with another foreign postcard. Well, if I can get it, mountains in the distance. And then you got this one. We're kind of in a run of foreign postcards right here. So I'm not going to do a lot of talking about them. All right, Stock Diva, a $3. Good job. And like diamond. I think that means when you're diamond, you get to start like my next like period is automatically at gold or something like that. But yeah, that's awesome. Number 2 got put out of its misery finally. All right, so let's start stack 2 over again. Here's Foreign postcard. Foreign postcard. The casino somewhere. Here's Vermont. The 10-mile road, Western Vermont. This one looks like it's either staining or been in a scrapbook or something there. And then here is White Mountains, New Hampshire. Looking to see, I don't see a date on that one. Here is the library at Columbia University in New York City. Here's aerating the water, the Catskill Mountains, New York. It looks like maybe that one was in a scrapbook or something. They did a pretty good job getting it out. This one's very chippy, so we'll just throw it in. It's a foreign postcard. And then here is New Palace, New York, the Elting Homestead. Then here's West Point, the U.S. Military Academy. This one's got some chippiness along the edges too. Sorry about that. I keep hitting my tripod. Here's the aquarium in New York Harbor. Ooh, I like this one. Here's the Woolworth building from the ferry. That's an art lover's postcard. And then here's another one, Washington Arch at winter twilight. Let me do a couple more and then we'll get started. Here's a real photo postcard. Not sure where it is. 1917, there's the date. And then here's Wilmington Notch, West Osable River. Another real photo, probably around that same time frame as this one. All right, let me go ahead and get it started. Run next, and we are running. Here's Cannon Square in Stonington, Connecticut, 1917. Here's Saranac Lake, New York. I'm not sure the date of that one. Here is Cleveland, Ohio. 1906 on this one. Oh, I like the back of that one. Here's a real photo postcard of some kind of issue with, I don't know what. Oh, are they watching a tennis match or something? That one's pretty cool. They're watching some kind of sporting event in there, though. And then here's an Irish cottage, a Valentine's card. And got a couple of these, so we'll put one in each. Here's another Rock City one. We'll put that one there. And then the Hotel Majestic we'll put here. And which one do you want, Stock Diva? Hey, Lucky Star, number 2. Hey, Forson, Mara and Mag, anybody else I've missed, thanks for coming in. Probably go for another 30 minutes. Need to start getting ready to watch the ball games tonight, eat dinner and all that good stuff. So if you see anything at all in the catalog you want me to run, you can put the lot number in the chat or put a pre-bid in. I'm periodically checking to see if anybody's put pre-bids in. Otherwise, we'll keep doing postcards, but I have a ton of stuff in the Buy It Now and in the auction catalog. Here, I'm just going to go ahead and throw this one in there too. All right, so we'll build back up stack number 2. Here's Balanced Rock in Lookout Mountain. If you ever have a chance to go to Lookout Mountain, it's pretty cool. Here's another Lookout Mountain one, the Fat Man Squeeze. Happy to say I can still squeeze through there. Here's some kind of chrome postcard on the road to Lahaina, so Hawaii. And here's a walk in the woods, Maryville College, Tennessee. That's not too far from where I live. And then here's We Run a Tight Ship here. However, lately some of us have been getting tight a little too often. And here's Behind the Times. So I guess they're behind the newspaper times there. 1911. Okay, let me write that down. I'll do it right after we finish this. Here's Bear Hollow, trail number 3, wherever that is, Marshall, Indiana. Here's a real photo postcard of the old post office. It's a foreign post office somewhere. Here's some pilgrims in the stock. She must have been convicted of being a witch or something. That is in Salem, Massachusetts, so they very well probably were a witch. Here's Salem, Massachusetts, some house. That one's 1909. And here's a chrome postcard of a big teepee That's at Six Gun Territory at Silver Springs, Florida. And then this one is Rolling Chairs at Atlantic City, New Jersey. Let me put a couple more. This one's got some glitter on it, and it is the Johns Hopkins Hospital in Baltimore, Undivided Back 1907. And then we'll do one more and then we'll get started. Indianapolis Columbia Club. Does have some chippiness along the bottom. That one is a Tux postcard. Yeah, you can see it's got some staining there. But anyway, that one will go there. So if you're just coming in, you get your choice of stack one or stack two. If you win, I'm going to run the auction for 45 seconds and keep putting postcards down as long as there's time on the clock. Hey, Knoxville Amy, my wife just joined. I'll be going about another probably 30 minutes, so probably be off by the time you get home. All right, here is the New Orleans, Louisiana Canal Street. Oh, let me run. There, that's running now. Canal Street, New Orleans. Here is Meridian Methodist Episcopal Church in Indianapolis, probably early 1900s on that one. Here's the post office in Davenport, Iowa. Here's Union Station in Louisville, Kentucky. Here's the H.J. Fitzgerald residence in Charles City, Iowa. Photo postcard there. Here's City Hall in Springfield, Illinois, 1911. Bird's eye view of the University of Chicago, 1912. Here's a linen, the Baha'i Temple in Wilmette, Illinois. This one does have some creases in it. Here's another temple, Baha'i Temple, so we'll put that there. The Palace of Holyrood House in Arthur's Seat. Got a couple of chromes here. The famous natatorium. Then here's Mrs. Potter Palmer's house or somebody, 1912. Here's Dearborn Station in Chicago, 1915. All right, Wendy, man, let me go ahead and put you two more down here. St. James Palace in London will go in this stack. And then you get in this one a peacock in front of a building. So number 2. And you unlock silver. Congratulations. Thank you to all my reward club members. I know I've got several platinum and diamond so far for this period. So I really, really appreciate all the business. All right, this was Wendy Man, and your stack is over here. Welcome in, C. Waters. Thanks for coming in. All right, let's get, lot 17. Let me go ahead and do that real quick. So the Walt Disney World stuff, let's see here. Let me pin that. And let me find those real quick. Let's see, lot 17. There they are. And I know nothing about these, like where they came from, who did them. I don't know if they're official or anything, but they look like somebody painted them. I mean, they're like watercolor maybe. Although, I mean, they could just be printed. It doesn't look like dot matrix when I looked at it under a magnifying glass. But in any case, they're prints of some sort, probably not actually a painting. But you have a Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge here. Never stayed at that one. And then you have Disney Animation Resort, Art of Animation Resort. Never stayed at that one either. We've stayed at the Pop Century, and then Amy and I stayed at the Caribbean Beach Resort last time we went, which I like that one because it's right next to the chairlifts. So, all right, so you're getting both these for a $5 start, and they're about 11 3/4 inches by 8 1/4 inch on the size of these. So, anyway, we'll go ahead and start these. We do not need to do 45 seconds. We'll just do 10 seconds on these, and they are running. Disney's Animal Kingdom and Disney's Art of Animation. Thank you for the bid. Oh, got another bid. Thank you so much. Yeah, appreciate everybody hanging out with me. 4:30. Yeah, so I'll go to right at 5. So we'll keep rolling through postcards, and just feel free to interrupt if you have a request for anything in the catalog, and make sure you check out the buy it now as well. All right, let me build stack 2 back up. Hey, Calco type, how you doing? Thanks for coming in. Here's Skipton Castle, the courtyard. It says 1927. So here's a real photo type postcard of Warwick Castle. Here's another one of London St. James Palace. Then we have London St. James Palace again. Then here's Potter Palmer Residence, Lakeshore Drive in Chicago. 1911 on that one. Then here's the University Club in Chicago. That one's 1911 as well. Here's the Coliseum in Chicago. 1910. Here's the group of university buildings in Chicago. Undivided back, so early 1900s on that one. Here's the Atlanta Terminal Station in Atlanta, Georgia. Look at all the old cars. That's really cool. All the people going into the station there. 1907 is the date on that one. Here is Tiffany Mosaic Dome at the Marshall Field and Company's retail store in Chicago. Wow, look at all that. 1910. That's worth a pretty penny if it's still there. Here's Flagler Beach Hotel, Flagler Beach, Florida. They ate lunch here Friday, June 25th, 1929. And here were their rates. You could stay there for $1 a day. Oh, but if you got a bath, it was $1.50 a day. $6 a week or $7.50 with a bath. I think I would take the room with a bath. Here's the Oglethorpe Hotel in Brunswick, Georgia. Let me do like one more and then we'll get started. Here is St. Augustine, Florida Presbyterian Church. All right, let me grab some more out of the box so I know I've got plenty to do. Wow, I am actually making a real good dent in this stuff now. Here's another one of these. We'll just throw it in. All right. All right, we're going to start it. Oh, let me pin that back. I forgot to. Well, I may have another pre-bit. Oh, never mind. No, I don't. All right, so let me pin the postcard back. All right, let's start auction. 45 seconds. And yeah, for anybody who hasn't been in here, you get your choice of stack 1 or stack 2 if you win. And I'm going to keep putting postcards down till the time ends. So here we go. This is front view of Meriwether Inn in Warm Springs, Georgia, 1933. Here's the Arlington Mansion in Washington, D.C. Here's the new Archives building in Washington, D.C. It's a linen. Here's a real photo postcard of the Hairpin Turn store in Mohawk Trail, Massachusetts. Here is the RMS Queen Mary. White Star Lines. I'm going to put this one over here too since it's another ship. That's the Normandy. So we've got 2 boat ones in that one. And then here is a real photo of Kensington Gardens in London. And I'll put one more over here too. Here's Kensington Gardens again. And these are all, tell you what, these are all Kensington Palace. So I'm going to go ahead and put all those in stack 2. That one's got a stain on it. All right, here's Queen Victoria statue, Kensington Palace again. Here's Kensington. Stack 2 is going to get a little bigger because I'm going to keep all these together. Kensington Palace. Okay, here we go. This one's Versailles, so we'll put it over here. Here's another Versailles, so we'll put it over here. Then I'll put one more in stack 2 for you and put that one there. 1 or 2, Stock Diva. Hey, Callie. My cat just came down to say hello. All right, let me make sure I get them in the Stock Diva stack. All right, so let's build us back up stock Stack one. Yeah, see, it's about quitting time because I can't talk anymore. Here's Versailles. Here's Versailles. So you'll have Versailles in both stacks. Here's another one. Here's another one. There's another one. So all those were from Versailles. And here we go. Here's the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C. Does have some staining in the corners. But one of the Postal Card Act postcards, so early 1900s there. And then we have the Country Club and Golf Links in Kingsport, Tennessee. Actually, I have two of those, so I'm going to put one there as well. Actually got some more of those, but I'll save them for another time. I don't think anybody needs multiple copies of the Kingsport one. Here is the RMS Queen Mary again. Here's Stevens Point, Westbrook, Connecticut. This one's got some, it's like a glossy one, and you can see it's almost like crazing on a dish. But it's 1910. So put a couple more in stack one, then we'll get started. Since they kissed the lads they loved so dear and sent them to the front. I think we saw one of those earlier too. And then here's some street, New Britain, Connecticut. Look at the old car there, 1910. Let me do one more and then we'll get started. Here's Thornbury Harbor in Ontario, Canada. And it looks like this boat sank. I'm not sure the date. Maybe 1912 or is that October 12th? Any case, probably early 1900s. All right, let me go ahead and run next. So 45 seconds. Here we go. Here's Halleck School, Great Barrington, Massachusetts. Here is the Vineyard Haven Harbor, 1910. Here's Play Ridge in Woodmont, Connecticut, 1910. Indian Bay and Elephant Mountain in Lake George. Here's another Lake George, so we'll put it with that one. Here's Jackson, Tennessee, the Madison County Courthouse. Here's Mount Vernon, Virginia, 1910. Here's the Double Beach House in Beach, Brantford, Connecticut. Here's the famous L in Canaan, Connecticut, 1910. Here is Elmira, New York. Here is a Christmas card. No, an Easter card. That one is just an Easter card. Upper Main Street in Nantucket, I think it says. And there's some kind of picture there, 1910. Here's the bay in the distance in Milford, Connecticut, 1910 again. Here's a photo postcard of something. I don't know. It's a Solio postcard. Here's the electricity building. So this is from our World's Fair. We saw some of these in another, like earlier. They were sponsored by the Mogul Egyptian Cigarettes. This was the electricity building. It's like early 1900s. And let me put one more in two for you. Just like a lake. That's in Oakland, California. Some lake in Oakland. All right, one or two, Stock Diva. Number two. Thanks for the bids, everyone. Stock Diva. All right. I think I can squeeze a few more in here. All right. Here's a Westbrook, Connecticut, 1915, it looks like. Here's Versailles. So looks like we're back into some foreign postcards here. Just going to try to go a little faster so we can get through some of these. Versailles. Be nice if I could get through my whole box today. Versailles. But I may have a few for the next show. I'm not sure what that one is. Here's Versailles. Versailles. That's a cool looking house. Some kind of foreign postcard. All right, here's the old house built in 1864. That's in Salem, Massachusetts. There's Bridgeport, Connecticut, entrance to Seaside Park. And then here's the post office in New York. And it's got glittered. It's all glittered up, bedazzled. I'm not sure of the year on that one, but it is an undivided back. So early 1900s. And then there's the new dormitory at Wesleyan University in Middletown, Connecticut. Let me put one more down, and then I'm gonna do two because this one the corner just fell off. But it's the post office in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I used to work in Chattanooga at Erlanger Hospital. And then here's Tennessee School for the Blind in Nashville, Tennessee. I used to drive by that every day when I lived in Nashville. So undivided back on that one. All right, here we go. We're gonna run now. I'll tell you what. Before we start it, I'm gonna put all these Nashville ones in here. Here's Union Station in Nashville. Here's the Post Office and Customs House in Nashville. Here's the Federal Office Building in Nashville. Okay, that gets us to the end of the Nashvilles. All right, here we go. For anybody just coming in, I'm going to run it for 45 seconds. Keep putting postcards down both stacks. If you win, you can choose one or two. Stack one or two. Here we go. Run next. This is Philadelphia City Hall, undivided back, 1906. Here is Christ Church in Philadelphia, 1925. Here's College Hall in Philadelphia. Here's another glittered one, Philadelphia, undivided back, 1905. Here's Philadelphia. This one's got a bent corner. Here's Washington and Jefferson College, 1914. Here, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania winter scene. Then we have Broad Street in Philadelphia, 1922. Then we have the U.S. Post Office in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Then here's Versailles, so foreign. Another foreign postcard. Another foreign postcard. Another foreign postcard. Try to get you as many as I can in the stacks here. If I don't say anything, they're still just foreign postcards. A lot of them were Versailles. I like those ones with the green backs. Versailles. Okay, stock David. Let me put you one more down. And there you go. One or two. Number two. Is that right? Number two? Make sure that was the last one you typed. Yes, okay. Welcome in, everyone. Harry, Chris, Lynn, anybody else I missed? I'm Stuart with Franklin Hill Ventures. We're doing postcards right now. Probably only go about another 20 minutes at this point, and then we'll find somebody to raid. But check out the catalog, and if you see anything you want me to run, just put the lot number in the chat or pre-bid, and I'll run those before the show ends. I also have a bunch of stuff in the buy it now. So, all right, Versailles. We've got the market cornered on Versailles postcards. There's another one. Another one. Oh, wow. This one's cool. Look at that cathedral. That's Winchester Cathedral, like the song. There's a cathedral. There's another cathedral. That one's Westminster Abbey. I'm not sure what this one is, but it's pretty cool. Undivided back type and some foreign postcard. Seem to be in a little run of foreign postcards here. That one, here's Rome. Basilica something. Here's the royal entrance to Westminster Abbey. And then here's getting acquainted on the famous green benches in St. Petersburg, Florida. Has anybody ever sat on the famous green benches? 1952. And then here's another Exeter Cathedral. Here's Westminster Abbey again. And then here's Castle Rock on Rock River in Illinois. And then there's Exeter Cathedral. And I think that's good. Yep, let me grab some more cards. Let's grab them right here. All right, for anybody just coming in, I'm going to start the clock for 45 seconds. Keep putting postcards down till the clock ends. And if you win, you can choose stack 1 or stack 2. So let me get this one out there. Run next. And it is running. That's the Pennsylvania Station in New York City. Then we have Dunbury, Massachusetts. The landing place of the Pilgrims. There's Connecticut somewhere. And then there's Fort Trumbull. Here's Derby, Connecticut. Early 1900s, not sure. There's the Yale campus, 1906. That one is the Draper Building at Berea College. I think we've seen one of those before. This one's a foreign postcard of some sort with different scenes there. Then we have the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C., Undivided Back, 1907. Corcoran Art Gallery in Washington, D.C. Then we have Temple of Scottish Rite in Washington, D.C. Windy Man, stack 1 or 2. Number 2. All right, have time for a few more. Make sure. Windy Man, Windy Man. All right, so let's refill number 2 here. The Union Station at Washington, D.C. Washington Cathedral. There's one of those. We'll just throw it in. Here's Franciscan Monastery in Washington, D.C. This one looks like maybe kind of a booklet. It's perforated on the edge. Copyright, Commissariat of the Holy Land. That's interesting. Here's the Smithsonian Institute. Printed by the blind at the CPI. This is one of the private mailing cards. And then we have State Capitol in Hartford, Connecticut, 1905. First Baptist Church in Selma, Alabama. New bathhouse at Venice, California, 1918. Dear Mary, or Dear May. It's Mary or May, one. Let's see. That is International Rotunda somewhere. Tour of the West this year was 76 gasoline. And then there's the Troutdale Hotel in Evergreen, Colorado. Hotel Del Coronado. Look at the old car out in front. That's pretty cool. That one's in ASO. I think all the two triangles up, 2 triangles down. So whatever that dates it to. Here's the the Cathedral Freiburg. Let me put a few more down. Then here's another Freiburg. Let me see how many of these forms I have left. Yeah, let me go ahead and just stick these in there too. So just show them to you real quick. Freiburg, or Freiburg rather. Hampton Court Palace. And then this one's Hampton Court Palace, like a real photo postcard. How do you do? September 14th. Maybe 1907. Can't tell for sure. So that one's kind of cool. All right, let me go ahead and get these ready. And we will get it running. Here we go. Oh, see some new people coming in. 45-second auction, $3 start. I'm going to put cards on both stacks. If you win, you can choose stack 1 or 2. Here we go. This is the park at Dartmouth College. Here's medical school at Dartmouth College. Tell you what, I'll put that one there since they were both Dartmouth. Here's North Conway, White Mountains, New Hampshire, 1917. Here's another White Mountains, New Hampshire. We'll put that one there with that one. Here's Bryant Hall in Meridian, New Hampshire. And then Old Pine Stump at Dartmouth College. Here's a winter scene in Hanover, New Hampshire. We're into the New Hampshires. Here's another snow scene. Here's Columbia, Connecticut, Post Office. 1907, I believe that one is. Here is New Haven, Connecticut. 1909. Here's Rock Proper, Saving Rock Proper, 1907. Here's Norwich, Connecticut, City Hall, 1908. Then we have somewhere, 1907, I think, though. Bridgeport, Connecticut. And that will go there. Which one, Wendy Man? And you unlock gold. Congratulations. That should give you, I can't remember what percentage off your next purchase. All right, number one. And that one goes in Wendy Man's stack. All right, let me grab a few more. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to quite make it through the box today, but I'll come close. Maybe we'll do the rest of them next week. So, all right, I'm going to trying to get rid of these. Here's two more of these Kingsport, Tennessee Country Club ones. Whoops. That must have been in your stack that I didn't grab. Let me put that. There we go. Yep. I got it. Thank you, Stock Diva. I need people looking over my shoulder because Lord knows I need all the help I can get. Here's the view of ruins from Garden Cemetery in Chelsea. I don't know if that's from bombing or what, but that's 1908. And then here's Worcester, Massachusetts, 1907, I think. Ooh, I like this one. It says the hub, and it's got all these different buildings, and it's from 1915. Here's Albany, New York, 1919. Here's Bird's Eye View Camp, Upton, Long Island, New York, 1918. 1908. It's just like a pastoral scene, a painting looking thing. This one's too bad. This one's torn at the top. Actually looks like something chopped at it, but I am on the train. If nothing unexpected happens, will arrive soon. I guess this is the unexpected. It's a shame that one's messed up because that one's pretty neat, but oh well. Some kind of temple, it looks like. Or no, well, is that an observatory or... Oh, it's an Indian mosque, so I was right the first time. Here's the U.S. Treasury in Washington, D.C. Here is a contrast on the beach at Atlantic City. Look at the people riding the horses. That's pretty neat. Here's Country Club and Golf Links. So, well, that's another one of those. Here's State School for the Blind in Columbus, Ohio. Let me put a couple more down, then we'll get it started. And here's Evans City, Pennsylvania. And then one more, and then we'll get started. There's to the girl with the auto hat, though she owns no automobile. But what the deuce do we care for that, so long as her looks are for real? And that is, I can't see the date, but early 1900s, most likely. All right, here we go. Run next. And we're off and running. That one's got some staining on the back, but it's just a lady. Here's some people getting pulled by a rickshaw, some Asian ladies. Looks like an Asian postcard. Oh, these all look... Yeah, we'll keep these together. These are kind of cool. They look hand-colored. Ooh, I like that one. Yeah, so stack 2 is going to get all these, and there seem to be quite a few of them. Look at all the cherry blossoms. Yeah, the colors on these are just really cool. Yep, and one more of these, and then we'll start throwing some stuff on one again. Oh, Windy Man. We'll put that one there. Tell you what, I got 2 of those, so we'll put one there too. 1 or 2. Hey, Matt Rock. Hey, Robin's Nest of Papers. Number 2. Your stack's starting to catch up with Stock Davis now. All right. This one, okay, I'm going to throw these on one, even though, because these look like they go with one. They look very similar to that. This says Pompeii. This one does as well. Let's see if there was, if I see any more, I'll put them over there. So let's build stack 2 back up. I'm not sure. Some foreign postcard. This one looks kind of like those two, so we'll put it with those. It's kind of a similar theme. All right, here we go. So, kindest regards. So, just a greeting postcard, 1909. Ooh, I like this one. The Sharple Separator Company, Tubular Cream Separator, Chicago, Illinois. So, an advertising postcard, and they're milking the cow there. 1908, a demonstration day, a demonstration of the practical money-making advantages of the Sharples, tubular cream separators will be made at our place of business. So, an advertising card there. Then here it says, who says it's dry here? They're talking like we do here in East Tennessee. Then this says, picked for you. And they're picking a flower there. And here's another foreign postcard. Here's some of those Brussels postcards. Let me put a few more down and then we'll get started. That's a Valentine's postcard from 1958. Valentine's the company, not Valentine. And I got 2 more of these, so I'm just going to put them in. Those are the Country Club. And then here's Edinburgh Castle. So I think that's good now. So we're going to start this one. That had some, I like that advertising card that was in there. All right, run next. For anybody just coming in, 45 seconds on the clock, $3 start. You can choose stack 1 or stack 2 if you win. And here we go. Here's some kind of foreign postcard. It looks like with the Alps in the background. Here's Kansas City, Missouri, 1907. Here's just a chrome postcard of some people standing outside a barn. Ted Shawn Theater and Jacob's Pillow. And then there's the post office at Atlantic City, New Jersey. Then here's some people wading in the ocean at Atlantic City. That one's 1910. Then we have Main Street in Uniontown, Pennsylvania. Not sure the year on that one. Here's Library of Congress from the Capitol. Here's Independence Hall. This one is creased. Tell you what, I'm going to put this one in stack 2 as well. It's got this lady, real photo postcard of this cool lady in the hat here, in the fur coat. Yeah, you can see the like ears or something there. And then here's Wabash, Indiana. Here's another humor postcard. Here's another real photo postcard of a baby. That one's an Azo. This one's got a crease, so I'm just going to throw it down and then put another one in there. All right, Stock Diva. 1 or 2. Number 1. I missed on that one. I thought for sure whoever won that would take 2 because I like that advertising card so much. But all right, so stack 2 will stay out there. Let's get a stack 1 built. 457. Man, I wish I could get through the rest of these, but there's just no way. So we'll do, tell you what, we'll do 2 more times. So if you see anything in the catalog you want me to run, make sure you tell me the lot number because I'll do it before I leave. Otherwise, we'll do 2 more of these postcard lots, find somebody raid, and call it a day. Here's Fort Griswold in Groton, Connecticut. It does have a stain on the corner. Here's Beach Scene in Crescent Beach, Connecticut. Also has a stain on the corner, 1908. Here's Souvenir Spoons, Golden Spur Park. Oh, they're spooning maybe, I guess. I don't know if that's what that means. And then here's Canaan Mountain and Churchill in Canaan, Connecticut. Does have some chippiness on the edge there. Here's the steamer Cabrillo leaving San Pedro, California. Undivided back 1908. Stain. These were in the same place in the box. Wonder if at some point in the history of that house the box got wet. They're all kind of stained in the same spot. Here's Samuel Clemens' residence, Mark Twain, undivided back 1905. And then, not sure what year this one is. Dear Abby, I have a daughter named Abby. Wonder how you are today. Wish could see you. Lovingly, Ethel. Here's Fog Bell and Lighthouse in Baker's Island, Massachusetts. Here's San Francisco, Nob Hill. Here's New Britain, Connecticut. Here is Columbia River Sturgeon. Caught a sturgeon one time. Here's Greenfield, Massachusetts. This one's got chip out of the edge there. Undivided back 1908. Let me do one more and then we'll get started. Here's the Capitol in Washington. Nation's Capitol's Choicest Views. All right, here we go. Hey, Codfish 10. Jordan Love is the best. Thanks for coming in. Anybody I missed? Stuart with Franklin Hill Ventures here in Knoxville doing postcards right now. Probably do this lot and one more and then call it a day. So stick around so we can go find somebody to raid. And here we go. You're going to 45 seconds, $3 on the clock. If you win, you get your choice of stack 1 or stack 2. And here we go. Whoops, what did I just do? Run next. There we go. On the Charles River in Massachusetts, 1908. And then we have The Heart of the Something in the White Mountains. That one's stained pretty bad. This one's got glitter on it, and it's a cactus garden, 1907. Here is a photo postcard Soldier's Home in Ohio somewhere, undivided back. And then here's this old Scoville homestead. It says 1905 on it, undivided back. Here's the casino in Miami Beach, Florida. Look at all the people in the ocean. 1926. Here's 1906. North Branch Brick Party, Newark, New Jersey, undivided back. This one's made to look like a picture, 1906. Oh, here's another one of those, so we'll put it with that one. Here's Christ Hospital in Jersey City, New Jersey. Photo postcard, 1906. Detroit, Michigan. Main entrance to Fort Wayne. Here's another photo postcard. New Mexico. Somewhere in New Mexico. Here's a view of the building from Washington, D.C. from an airplane. Here's some castle. Undivided back. And then there's Richmond, Virginia State Capitol. That one's a Tux postcard. Then here's Montgomery, Alabama, Stock Diva. Let me put one more down for you. Nathan Hill Monument, Connecticut. 1 or 2? Number 2. And that was Stock Diva. Let me see how many I got left. Tell you what I may do. Let's see how many I get through if I do like a 2-minute drop instead of a 45-second drop. We'll try that on this one for this last one. And if we get, if it goes pretty well, and we'll see how many cards I get in there, maybe I can run the rest of them because it won't take as long. All right, so let's get stack 2 built up. Here's Roman Catholic Cathedral in Philadelphia. This one's got some, well, thought it was creases. I think it's just the way the coloring is. Stony Creek, Connecticut. Here is Pittsfield, Massachusetts, undivided back 1906. This one says Grace, 1906. Here's the National Monument in Washington, D.C., undivided back 1906. Here's the former State Supreme Court room, undivided back. Independence Station or Square, undivided back. It does have a chip out of it. These are all 3 from the same series. It looks like Liberty Bell, undivided back. And here's Bridgeport, Connecticut. Undivided back 1907. All right, so let's try this. I'm going to put 2 minutes up, so I got to unpin this and pin it back. Unpin. Unpin. Okay, it's like glitching. Okay, I may have to unpin it from over here. Da, 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 da. There we go. Pin. Yeah, now it has start auction instead of run next. All right, so I'm going to put it at $3 start. We're going to do 2 minutes, and we'll see how many cards. Still get your choice of either stack 1 or stack 2, and we'll go from there. All right, here we go. All right, so this is McKinley Cruiser in Pittsburgh, something undivided back, 1907, I think. Here is the 5th Ward School in Wellington, Kansas. Here's San Francisco, California, a little chippiness along the edge of that one, 1909. Here's Residence in Southern California, Figueroa Street in Los Angeles, undivided back 1904, I think. Here's Golden Gate Park in San Francisco, 1905. Here's Falls on Pequabuck in Bristol, Connecticut. Not sure the date on that one. Here's Strawberry Hill, 1905. Compliments of A.C. Ralston. The Reservoir, Irvington on the Hudson, New York, 1907. Here's a real photo of Buckingham Palace in London. And then here's another one, Buckingham Palace. We'll stick it with that one. Here's another Buckingham Palace. We'll keep these together. Buckingham Palace. Buckingham Palace. Buckingham Palace. Buckingham Palace. Buckingham Palace. All right, and here we go. Seacliff, Long Island, 1907. And then this is Norway Pines House Camps in Washington County, Maine. Here's the Swing Bridge in somewhere in Massachusetts, 1909. And then there's somewhere in Connecticut, a moonlit scene, 1909. Here's Saratoga, some hotel, 1907. And then here's Pennsylvania Station in New York City, 1913. Here's the New York Chamber of Commerce. That one is a Tux postcard, 1908. Then we have the Teachers College in New York City. Then we have the Waldorf Astoria in New York. Then we have Stock Diva 1. That one's New York City. And that one is Carnegie Music Hall there. And that one is also a Tux. So 1 or 2. Number 1. And that was Stock Diva. All right, and we'll finish up just by running this last. There won't be a choice this time, so we'll just run this, and I'll throw cards down. We'll run it for. Well, I'll go ahead, since it's set for 2 minutes, I'll go ahead and keep it at 2 minutes. Let me grab some more though. All right, here we go. Last lot. Then stick around. Oh yeah, I'll run number 16 as soon as we finish this. So we'll actually finish with 16. All right, so here's Grand Central Terminal Station in New York City. Let me run next. So this is going to be 2 minutes, $3 start. You're just getting this stack this time, and here we go. Grand Central Terminal Station, New York City. There is the Empire State Building. Here's Red Creek, Rochester, New York. That one's 1919, maybe. Postcards are turned around. Here's New Hampshire. Here's somewhere in New York. That one is from 1908. Here's a Happy New Year's, I guess. Yeah, Happy New Year to you. 1909. And then here's We Wish You a Happy Birthday. That one is probably around the same time frame. Here is Boston, Massachusetts. Here is Western Union Telegraph Station in Fire Island. Here's Old Maid's Alley in Bermuda. Come to the islands, it says. There's Bath. Here's another one in Bath. Here's the Summit in the White Mountains, New York. Whoops. And then there's Springfield, Massachusetts Public Library. There's a chrome of something. Here's Paris. See what all these are Paris. So let me just show them. There's what the backs look like of all these. Look at the boat going under the bridge. That's pretty cool. There's a horse-drawn carriage in Paris. Another horse-drawn carriage. Bunch of horse-drawn carriages there. And there's Kensington Palace. Looks like we're into some maybe palaces here. Here is Kensington Gardens, like a real photo type postcard. And then there is Kensington Palace. So into some palaces here. Peter Pan statue. And Windy Man won that one. All right. So let me get lot 16, I think it was. Run number 16. Let me put these postcards out. I will have to clean my table. Let's see. Lot 16. Let me pin that. Let me find those real quick. Yeah, these were pretty neat. Here they are. So based on the research I did, these are from 1955. And they are cigarette tax stamps. And these were for 20-cent packs. So they're not gummed or anything, which seemed to be correct. They're just like one sheet. And I guess they would just manually cut them. But they have, what's the dude's name? I can't see because I can't see that well. But in any case, they have this guy on them. And it's for a 20-cent pack of cigarettes, and they're from 1955. And there's 25 in the strip here. So we'll go ahead and start this. And we're not going to run it for 2 minutes. We're going to run it for 15 seconds. And it is running. Yeah, there you go. I'll get a little closer so you can try to see them here. Thanks for the bids, everyone. Yeah, so stick around. Let's find somebody to raid real quick. I always try to raid somebody at the end of the show. I know I always like it when people raid me, especially back when I was first getting started. So, all right. Well, hey, I appreciate everybody coming in today. Please bookmark my future shows. Make sure you go to franklinhillventures.com, and that's got links to all my social media, including the podcast I do. Hey, what? Let me turn the camera around so I can say bye to everybody. Hope everybody has a great weekend. If you don't have a rooting interest in any of the teams in the NCAA tournament, please turn on and root for my Vols tonight because they need it. They're 0-2 against Kentucky so far, so we'll see if tonight goes any better. But let me find somebody to raid real quick. And if you can just stick with me long enough to get to the show, I'd appreciate it. But everybody have a good Friday night and a good weekend. Let's see who else is running in Ephemera right now, if anyone. Let's see. We have Paid Americana, Raindrop, Resale, Good. Oh, that's Raw Ephemera. Second show. Tell you what, let's do Raindrop Resale. It's their second show. So everybody have a great weekend, and we will hopefully see you next week. All right, Raindrop Resale. Let's see if they show up. They do not show up. Let me type their name in. There they are. All right, here we go, everyone. Have a great weekend and hope to see you next week. Everything should ship out no later than Monday.